Giveaway, you say? Oh, yeah. Figure Fight Club is the official giveaway channel of Action Figure YouTube.
Thank you, members, for the love you bring, for every shared story and the joy you sing. To our sponsors, your support's the key. Together we build this legacy. Collectors unite in this fight we thrive. Figure Fight Club, our passions alive. Yeah. Unboxings and battles, the thrill of every find. Trading tales and treasures. Figure Fight Club Community. Welcome to Figure Fight Club. Welcome to Figure Fight Club, where collectors come to play. Discussions from Valorverse to hot toys shaped by collecting weight. Pour a drink for yourself, collect your thoughts. Join us on this journey in action-packed talks. In the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In Figure Fight Club, we welcome you. Welcome with the front, with the front. Welcome with the front, with the front. Up high and let's cheers. You're among collectors and like-minded peers. From stores to conventions, we take you backstage, exploring figures from modern day to the Stone Age. In the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In Figure Fight Club, we welcome you. Welcome with the front, with the front.
Welcome to Figure Fight Club presents Plastic Journey Podcast. Hope everyone is doing well. We have an awesome and exciting show for you guys tonight. We have a great guest, actually, a very experienced guest. So we're going to get to learn about him, talk to him and his journey. But before we bring him out, we're going to go ahead and bring out Talib and Lucifer. Welcome, guys.
What's going on?
No music?
Is that I'm hearing the music on my side? I was afraid. There you go. I was hearing the music on my side, but I'm assuming I just hit it to the wrong mic, and that's why you're not hearing it. My bad. Here, there you go.
I mean, there is like Lou's music in the assets.
That's also very true.
Put us into that. I mean, we could have got the volume to 3, right?
That's right. We'll make it 3 and make it.
It's the magic number.
But since I could quickly adjust by setting here because it is a preference thing. It looks like so. Let me just change the mic where it's going to, and hopefully,
and then we can't hear him probably.
Yeah, Mike,
it's
going to be a disaster. It's good though, guys. Happy Friday to everybody in the chat hanging out. Talib, it's great to see you on a Friday. I don't see much on Friday.
Every other. I
know. Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff.
Oh, now you're muted, Abby. You shouldn't have messed with anything.
Yep.
Yeah, you done screwed it up. It's co-host takeover.
That's right. That is right. We got.
All right. Am I still muted?
No, you're not.
You're good. You're good.
Interrupting you
now. But do you hear this now?
Yeah.
There you go. So let's bring out our VIP. Please welcome Work More or Less. We call him Jason.
Welcome.
What's up? Man, I
get
intro music and everything. I love that. I do feel
Sorry,
like
guys. Sorry, guys. My thing did mess up, so I apologize.
Yeah, I can still hear it, so that's what.
All right.
So you heard.
Yeah, I got it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Jason, how are you doing? How was your week?
Doing good, man. It's nice to have a weekend. I do a lot of things throughout the week, so sometimes I feel like stretched with all these different things that I'm kind of involved in. Mm-hmm. But no, it feels good. And like this is the perfect way to kind of cap off a good, productive week. Just kind of chilling with chat, chilling with you guys, talking about toys, talking about all the things I love. So this is an honor. I appreciate the invitation.
Hey, we appreciate you jumping on for sure.
Yeah, thanks for
hopping on. Definitely an honor for us as well, for sure. We appreciate
it. Now we know you're a very experienced VIP, especially in the realm of photography.
It just means
we
I've been
will-
around a long time. I don't know if that
Bobby, you're
means
making him sound like a hooer. Come on.
yeah.
But I mean, but the thing is, he's professional, right? I mean, he's doing it, right? So, but before we jump into the photography side of things, I do wanted to, get to know your journey.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been collecting action figures, or just toys in general?
I was gonna say, I think for a lot, at least other people in the community, I think we kind of share a similar story, where I've like when I was a kid, like action figures, toys, man, that was 24/7. I loved it. Even some of the old toys, so like He-Man, Thundercats, Turtles, Batman, Star Wars, like all that stuff. I've just been in love with since a kid. I'm an 80s kid. But even some of the stuff I still have. So like the original toys, and my parents thanks mom for keeping the toys and like keeping all the accessories and things together. So I actually still have some of that stuff. I don't know if I've got anything on display here, but some of my you remember Battle Beasts or Army Ants?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got the OG Street Sharks and Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Now they're coming back into vogue and people love them.
Very awesome.
So yeah, man, I've been doing as far as just like collecting, I've been doing that for a while. And then, when I realized, I need to grow up and think about a job and go to college and all that, I kind of took a break. But then, at least 10, 15 years ago, I realized like, oh man, there's something missing. And
it was
I
the
would say
toys.
yeah, exactly. Toys.
Yeah.
And I work in the creative space anyway. So I'm a designer, I'm an animator. So a lot of the stuff has always been around in some form or fashion. So whether that be like just doing a lot of fan art illustration or design work or even animation, it's nice to actually come back to toys in 2015. Kind of a lot of similar stories. When Force Awakens came back, Star Wars came back. Black Series was kind of the first thing that got me back into collecting. And
That's how I found you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Black Series have been around for a long time. So yeah, it's cool to like go back and see that journey, like you were kind of asking about, and see how I got back into it, and then realize like, man, I feel over the last 10 plus years after getting back into it, I feel so much more like myself, and I'm enjoying life because I'm not ignoring like all the stuff that really made me who I was, like really formed me as a person, and also from my like creative like job and stuff I do. Being able to kind of lean into both things and see how there's a lot of crossover there too is pretty cool.
I mean, the thing is, you're also utilizing the skills you've learned over the years into your hobby, right, and vice versa. So that's actually really cool. I mean, we all work, and I definitely don't do anything for work that's toy related. I would love to, get something that's toy related, but that's just not in my cards right now.
Yeah, but you never know. That's the thing. I mean,
right.
When I started, after I graduated and got my first job, I was like, that never crossed my mind. Or even being an educator later in life, like right now, we can talk about that later. But there's a lot of things that I just didn't really plan for. But when I realized, looking back, the fact that I followed those passions and I leaned into who I really was and the things that I love, collecting those again, it ended up opening all these doors. So you just never know like how things can unwind, and like people you meet, especially and those relationships you build. Again, being older and looking back, I'm like, okay, now I can see like where all those different points in my life, how they led to where I am now. So
yeah, absolutely. And you don't see that when you're young. That's the whole idea of, it's the whole thing of being young.
Yeah, you
young,
can't really,
naive.
right?
No, absolutely not. No.
You mentioned Black Series. Sorry, Lou, I interrupted. Go ahead. No, finish it.
It was pretty much a done thought. That's about it.
No. I just wanted to add, like, so what was it about Black Series that got you kind of back into the swing of things?
I mean, I've been a Star Wars fan since I can remember. And I think when Black Series started hitting like in 2013, and I started just kind of picking up on, there's like these, $18 at the time, it would have been like $17 figures that were showing up on shelves. And I wasn't as addicted to like going, all right, I'm going to Target. Where's the first aisle we go to? We go to toys. It wasn't until like when I had my kids that were, we were constantly going, they were younger at the time, but we'd have a reason to go check out the toys, go check out the action figures and Legos. And I noticed that Black Series started showing up just randomly. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, man, these look amazing. And even at the time, I'm like, I don't know if I can justify spending almost $20 on this thing, but it's cool. And then my brother and my parents, they ended up buying me like the regular Boba Fett and the Walgreens, like the white prototype edition or the
prototype one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at that point, it's such a good figure. But at that point, I also was wanting to get into just learning photography. I've like lived in like the video and production world and post-production world. But up to that point, I'm like, photography itself really kind of eludes me. And so I ended up getting like a Canon digital SLR camera. And I had the toys. I'm like, this is the perfect combination because I can set these up. I can use my experience with lighting and post-production type work and use the figures, and they can stay up as long as possible, not move, and then take these photos. And at that time, there was a little bit of toy photography that was showing up here and there, like on Flickr. That's a really popular photo sharing kind of application or website, I should say, community.
I remember Flickr.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I remember
good days. We're still in good days at times, but looking back on that, there's some really influential artists that were doing photography, and sometimes it was like just them creating their own characters or like little custom figures and then shooting them. Like, that's really cool. And so it kind of just like it kind of built from there. And then being a fan of the Star Wars The Black Series account on Instagram at the time, that was kind of my way in to realize like, oh, I can take pictures of these things I love. And then there might be people who also see them through those accounts. And I got reshared a few times and met Matt, who is the owner of the account. And we've been friends for years now. So it's just kind of grown from there. It's kind of wild. The Black Series got me into it, and I still have my entire collection over there. I've slowed down a little bit. But
So it gets me thinking to ask the question now, because you've seen current prices for Black Series.
Yeah, man.
What are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are that's great. There are a lot of things that some of the updates are great. Even the new Mando. It wasn't until when I was at WonderCon this past weekend, I got to see my friend Isaiah, Black Series, and he had that new Mando, and I got to kind of mess around with him. Like, oh, okay, in hand, this is actually pretty good. But do I need to spend almost $30 or whatever it was on this? Because my other figures, they kind of just sit in my shelf right now. I'm not doing a ton with it, but at this point, I'm like, there's so much. $27 is kind of like the base, like bottom baseline. That's a lot of money, and there's a lot of other things I should be spending money on. And so I've kind of like pared back because I feel like for the most part, I've got all the core Black Series figures that I feel like I need. And I'll just kind of cherry pick here and there. But yeah, the prices that rise, I get why, but those prices that keep rising higher and higher, I'm like, I got to be more, particular. So
it makes you wonder where the breaking point is, right?
I think that's what they're trying to figure out too.
Oh,
how much
absolutely.
are collectors willing to pay? Are we going to go this maximum kind of deluxe route? And can we charge that premium price? And I think what's really interesting is the people that I've known in the industry who work at various like companies or even people at Hasbro. That's always the question. Like, we have to see where's that value, and we can recognize what the costs are for our side, what we need to do to be profitable, but what is the market going to bear, and where are they just like, no, we're not paying this, or we demand more accessories or what have you. But I think the biggest thing that a lot of people miss is that you can't compare like an SH to a Hasbro to a custom, because they're completely different things and for different audiences. And we are such a niche, like us, especially like toy photographers and adult collectors. Like, we're kind of like a very small percentage of like who their audience is. So
Right. And companies like Hasbro, they really can't make the definitive like version of that character because that's bad business.
That's true. That's a really great point. You got to have a marketing strategy too. Yeah.
You got to dangle that.
Sadly, it's a sad thing for consumers because you always want that definitive one, but unless you're willing to go like the SHF route or some like third party route, that's the only way you're going to get it done. But you're going to be paying 2 to 3 times the price of what you might be able to get that figure from Hasbro just to hit that itch.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of the, like, so we're gonna use Black Series as an example, because when Mandalorian came out and I was looking for the Mandalorian figures, they released so many different Mandalorian versions with like the different armors, right?
Yeah.
He had like the original had like that the tan color shin guard on the one side, and then they released a new one that had like a different then he had like the Beskar pauldron. So they were making small adjustments and re-releasing it out. And for a toy photography sense, or just from a collector sense, like this was a different timeline or a different time when he had that armor, and then you're
like
just
one episode.
one episode, one episode, or if you just want that for a shot, because the other armor wouldn't make sense in the shot.
Right.
But again, like Talib mentioned, like having an import company that can put a lot more adjustability, I should say, where you could switch out pauldrons or switch out the shin guards and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yes, but you're paying a lot more for it, right? Because that's more tooling that you have to pay for.
And a lot of times those third-party companies or like SHF or these imports, they don't have to worry about the consumers that Hasbro has to worry about, because you look at the packaging for a Hasbro product, most of them are 5 and up, 7 and up, depending on the toy line. Where your SHF are built for, I think that I don't even think some of them say an age, but if they do, it's usually a teenage. And up. So it's a completely different market. So you can put small little pieces that kids would choke on in these figures, as opposed to a Black Series figure, and sharp pieces, without putting like that malleable plastic on pointed objects. So I mean, you're paying for that too. And then a lot of times those companies, they don't have to worry about they have to worry about their profits, but their margins are a little bit different because they're selling to collectors, not children. Even though Hasbro is selling to collectors, adult collectors, it's still made for children. That's where a lot of people, I think, get mad or have that misconception, and like, why doesn't it have this? Why isn't it? You got to think, just because they're making it for the adults.
Right.
It's technically for children.
It's interesting though too, because I see, because there are those things, and I think we have to be mindful of, like, there's so many more variables that are outside of what we as consumers recognize, right? So all these other added costs, overhead, etc. But also there are some things where I'm like, okay, you've shown that you can do it at this price point, or that you can add these certain elements, and they kind of expect that to continue, especially when the price rises. We start seeing those things being pulled back, like maybe deco only on the front of the figure, not the back. I'm like, okay, hang on a second. Like, I understand, but there are legitimate times when I'm like, okay, as a consumer, I feel like maybe that's not the best way they should have handled that, or I feel like we're kind of getting like kind of the wool pulled over our eyes, or whatever that expression is. So I think it's important to see both sides of it. But even as a consumer, like, it's okay for you to say, hey, I don't think this is cool, and be vocal, because I would say with Steve Evans, especially when he was on, actually he's back on Star Wars, but being part of like Hasbro in particular, and getting to know him like on a personal level, like he and a lot of the other people really do care, and they want to hear your voice. But if we're just like sitting here and just crapping on them all the time, it's like, all right, at a certain point, like, this needs to be a dialogue. So tell us, explain like why you think it should be better. Maybe talk about maybe solutions or other thoughts you have. But if you're just sitting here and one way or the other, like if you're just like saying, this is crap, I'm not buying this, let's boycott, I'm like, all right, you're still going to buy it.
Right.
Well, most of the time they do, though. That's the funny thing about it. They do buy it, and then they spend the money, and then let's just say Hasbro has a tick saying, hey, we made a sale, and then you complain about it saying do better, and just like, you bought it though. Like,
sometimes the loudest voices anti are still buying the product. It's usually because you're already that far in, right? Like they got me by the balls with Classified, and seeing some of these prices of these new deluxe things, I'm like, ugh. Yeah,
Classified is so good, man. I've been so impressed, and picked up a few, like the Cobra Commander, like that's.
Yeah, I was just talking about that figure earlier today with the guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know, I mean, there are a lot of people who are collecting have seen these, but like this one and the Snake Eyes, my brother just found for me. Yeah, I love this.
That was my first Snake Eyes as a kid too. So
Same.
I love that.
Yeah,
I never had that Snake.
Here's the
Eyes
one.
as a kid.
Here's my critique. The one thing about these, and especially in the like kind of the mid 90s, when they really started introducing like the fluorescent paint apps, like I really wish these were closer, like more vibrant.
Yeah.
And I know there's some, you know, collectors who enjoy like the OG like Joe stuff and are even kind of mad at some of this stuff. I'm like, dude, man, make these fluorescents, like bring this blue, make it like super vibrant like the original. Do fluorescent orange weapons.
Love those pinkish red swords. I would have
Oh god.
Yeah.
loved those over the original ones.
You guys remember these too? I also like collecting figures and then opening them, of course, but I enjoy like
the sprues.
the
Oh, yeah,
stuff on
the
the card. I mean, look
Yeah.
at that. Look how that's amazing.
Oh,
Like I'm going to go as bold as this with the paint apps. So, but anyway,
I'd be perfectly fine with that myself, except that I just wouldn't be buying those.
and that's
Those-
okay, right?
All in.
exactly. Like that
Give me all
Snake
those
Eyes,
swords. Yep.
I never bought because it's just not my. Snake Eyes. So yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's which version bat is that? Isn't
That's
it like
V2.
1990?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
This is from 90.
90. Yep.
Yep.
That was long after my time.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. Like the Night Creeper leader with the orange camo and all of his orange weapons, blindfolded. He was blindfolded of all things.
Man,
That tells you how you're a badass if you're going into battle blindfolded.
Yeah, dude. There's a few characters that I really am excited about. I mean, Heavy Duty, Scorpion, like those are the ones that I just loved when I was a kid. Even like Laser Viper, what else? Snow Serpent, like this bat, the Snake Eyes, obviously. With
Frag Viper was fun too.
Frag Viper. Oh, I was going to tell you. So my brother, he's always like finding the stuff that goes on clearance. So if it's Target or Walmart, and at Walmart he got he saw like pretty much everything that's been out. So he got me everything was 50% off. So that Scorpion, Heavy Duty, let's see what else. What like Grim Viper, the other, I forgot which version it is, but the other Snake Eyes with the polar bear, the firefighter and police. So we got all of those for me, and basically it's like $100 for everything. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I would say I found a lot of stuff half off. I got some for me and my kid, but I never did see the Grim Vipers. Those were already sold out. The police officer, and the firefighter never made it to clearance. They were already gone by the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I saw someone find the police officer for $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. I think what's funny too is maybe not funny, but I think what's influenced how I buy is that typically I can find stuff that's on clearance. So, and I think we've been kind of conditioned where Target will put something out or Walmart will put something out, and 2 weeks later they've got new product and that's already gone like on a discount, like 20% off. So like, why would I buy it full price if I know it's going to be discounted? Or I could buy it now and then just return it and get like the discount applied. But I'm like,
see, that's how I really feel about Hasbro. When I want something that's Hasbro related, like I very rarely buy it at full price. I did buy what's it called, the Blade, the MCU Blade, because I just wanted a Wesley Snipes figure, and then I bought X-23.
There we go. The the 2-packs, and then also like the Venom and Snap. So I bought those. I think they were full price.
Full price.
Like now they're discounted. So
I know. Yeah.
That
Venom cap is awesome. That set.
I always just wait. But even Ross gets a lot of Marvel Legends too, though. That's the thing.
The only thing about playing clearance chicken like that, it's being like you're still blowing through gas going to all these different Rosses sometimes.
Not if you have an electric vehicle.
Okay, Avi, your electric bill is still going to go higher. There's still.
I mean, I also don't go around like that either anymore. I used to.
See, look, you're not even proving your point. You don't even do the driving around.
I mean, but here's the thing. I did find, like, I mean, I found what's it called? What's it called? The Stinger? Yeah, I found the Stinger at Ross for $30.
Right.
And I felt horrible because I bought 2 of them before for like $100.
Well, you've even mentioned though your area is littered with collectors, so that's
that's crazy. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I don't hunt, because
you have to deal with other hunters out there.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. You have to. I mean, not everybody has the luxury of being able to wait around and find that stuff on clearance. So I get that too. Yeah, but
I would say probably it feels like maybe 70% of the Hasbro stuff goes on clearance.
Yeah.
The only thing you really have to worry about getting immediately is like Pulse exclusive stuff. Those are the ones that seem to not stick around.
Yeah. And even those sometimes.
Even those find their way to clearance.
Once in a while. Yeah.
Right, which is so weird, right?
Slice and Dice was found today in Arizona.
Yeah, at Ross.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Pulse's warehouses are unloading their stuff to Ross.
Okay, I want those guys. I've intentionally not bought them. So
yeah, they are fantastic figures.
I wouldn't mind having another set to swap out their heads to do as alternate ninjas.
That'd be
they come with those separate heads. With
those are the samurais, or like the ninjas, right? Yeah,
the ninja. Yeah,
red and green. Wait, red. Purple. Yes.
Purple and red, yeah.
I remember getting it early, and I took it to a convention with me. And there's a guy, Bobby Vala, who runs Action Force or Valaverse. He wanted it. I had a boot set up. He wanted it from me. I was like, yeah, sure, but I wasn't holding. So he came back. Someone else got it before him, and then he came back asking for it, and I was like, I already sold it. Sorry. And then I was banned from his booth that weekend.
I wonder why.
I was like, come on, bro. Like, if you like something, buy it now. Why wait?
Exactly.
Lou, you said you like that Ninja Force 2-pack?
I do. I thought that was excellent. I'm not a Ninja Force fan. I don't hate Ninja Force. It's just not in my wheelhouse. But that 2-pack, I bought it. They look good in pictures, and in hand, I was blown away. I love those figures. They did a really great job with them.
That's what I think was cool about that's what I think was cool about the classified line. You can get older guys like you that were aged out of that weird era, and they're making like stuff that you're like, shit, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Well,
like, I think that Overlord will be the next one that'll do it.
Not for me yet. We'll see. So? I didn't pre-order them. We'll see.
Was you a Cobra Law fan?
Yeah. To a degree. And I love
that Royal Guard.
Cobra Law.
Jason, have you got that Royal Guard yet?
No.
Oh,
so good.
So good.
Go ahead, hold it up, guys. I know you both have it.
You definitely need. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Phenomenal.
It looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie, it does look dope.
This is kitted out with all of his armor bits.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild.
The wings are removable, right?
Yeah, the wings are removable. It's got soft goods cape. I mean,
nice.
Just
wow.
4 different head sculpts.
Man, the accessories. That's where you feel like you get a lot of value out of them. Like when you're paying that price, that's when I'm like, okay, if we get like multiple sets of hands, multiple heads, multiple weapons or effects, like, okay, then I'm willing to, kind of bite the bullet and pay that price. But
right. I agree.
Those look great.
Now, are you big? I mean, I guess you did show off some G.I. Joe too, so you're a big G.I. Joe fan too.
Not a big G.I. Joe fan. I'm mostly just getting the figures that I had when I was a kid. Because those are the ones that, some of them, like, I don't even remember the name of this figure, but I could tell you, like, what accessories they had, what the weapon's color was. Like, I could tell you all those things because I love them. But, so now we're kind of getting to that era where we've moved on from the OG classified, like, figures and those lines. And with these, like we just kind of talked about, now I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to pick up a lot, but it's mostly the ones that I had when I was growing up as a kid. So
no, I get that. So I did highlight a bunch of questions from Goose, who is now as of Tuesday our new co-host as well.
Nice.
So Goose asked Jason, what's the moment you realized toy photography wasn't just a hobby for you?
Sure. I mean, I think there's some in some respect, it still is a hobby. I think I've had the opportunity to, actually shoot product for Hasbro, like kind of collaborations where it's like maybe I'm announcing if it's a Marvel Legends figure or it's a Hasbro Black Series figure. I did some Power Rangers stuff, which I'm like, I don't do Power Rangers like that. I was too old for that. Even when I was doing that, it still felt like a hobby because it's not like when I was getting paid, it wasn't something that was going to like change my life or replace my income as a designer or animator. It was just more like kind of the cherry on top. Like I'm still doing this stuff, but fortunately I positioned myself in a way where I can get compensated for more than just like in exchange for the figure. So it's still, honestly, it still feels, I would say instead of like more than a hobby, it's a creative outlet for me. And it gives me the opportunity to still be creative, but not focus so much on like client work. So like I said, I do a lot of motion design. So I've got with Invisible Elements, my business. And so I've got 20 or man, I've been doing it for a long time, but officially when I left the other agencies I work for and started my own business in 2014, it's been 12 years. So I continue to do that, still have clients and regular work that comes through. But in 2015, 2016 is when I started doing work more or less. And it really was like I need to do stuff for myself. And the toy photography stuff was just like, it worked. And honestly, I was able to take what I was doing from the toy photography side and wrap that into kind of like my business, because I'm buying this really like product that I'm shooting, and I'm buying gear, I'm buying all this stuff that can still be considered like expenses for my business.
Yep.
Not cheating the system by any way, but like when companies started paying me, I'm like, oh, actually, or giving me product or giving me opportunities, like, yeah, these become actual expenses for like taxes and things. And so it kind of shifted how I thought about it. And then when other opportunities came up, I'm like, okay, I'm still making the most of these opportunities by being able to actually have them as like paid collaborations or paid projects. And some of them are grown from there. I've recently, last year, did some stuff with Jurassic World and Mattel. So that I see that kind of more along the lines of what I'm doing from a creative business side, but it's kind of brought different audiences to what I do from a creative standpoint. So yeah, it's interesting. It still feels like a hobby for me, to be honest. So, great question. Yeah.
Let's see. The next question is from Travis P. Is Black Series still your favorite to take pictures of, or is there another line you prefer now?
I think what I've also realized, when I started, it was Black Series like 24/7, 100% of the time I was shooting Black Series. And I just loved it because we were getting new figures and, we were getting new series and new movies. So everything felt fresh. But now I feel like we've kind of done a lot of the things. And now it's going back to like, okay, what other Cantina aliens can we produce? What other, can we update old figures? So that excitement isn't as intense as it was to begin with. And I found that after doing, for the most part, strictly Star Wars for like 4 or 5 years, being able to shoot Marvel and collect Legends, and if it's Street Fighter stuff or Turtles stuff, it's been fun to like collect different things that I love, and then slowly started realizing, okay, let's just break from only doing Star Wars and try shooting some of these other lines. And for me, it's really, I find more excitement less in like the properties that I'm shooting, and more excitement from what I'm learning through the process. Or if it means I'm going to build a diorama, or I've got to do some kind of something involved in that process, or try like some new technique. That's what gets me excited about shooting, more so than like what figure it is, or what, if it's Star Wars or Marvel Legends, or so I would say it's kind of shifted the more I've kind of been doing it. I mean, it's over a decade now, but at this point, so just trying to do things new that keeps it exciting, and collect new types of figures and new lines has been really fun. Okay.
All right. I mean, again, a lot of the stuff you just mentioned, we definitely all have experience with. It's just, collecting different things.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing, because I know if you look at pretty much a lot of our collection, even probably most people in the chat, there's probably at least minimum of 5 to 6 different lines already there at a minimum.
And what's crazy too is like with turtles, especially, like I work with NECA and I work on some of that product, but even just NECA alone, how many different expressions of turtles or different lines they have of turtles. And then you have, Mondo's now doing like the 1/6 versions of these really kill. I don't know if you've seen those.
The Mondo,
yeah. So it's really awesome to see a lot of these IPs being like licensed for different companies, and to see how different companies, how they interpret that, or different scales, etc. So I think we're kind of lucky because there's a lot to choose from, and then it's a matter of like, okay, what's my budget now? I can't buy everything.
Right.
But yeah, I love the diversity of the types of stuff that's available now. We're pretty fortunate.
So you have, I see Jada toys behind you, the Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Have you played with the Storm Arena ones? Are similar?
I've had one of the exclusive Chun-Li ones with like the black. I forgot the exact.
The Storm Collectibles one.
The Storm Collectibles.
Okay.
And then I had the Goro Mortal Kombat one. Bluefin at the time, Bandai sent those over, and I was able to kind of shoot some of that stuff. And
oh wow,
those are cool. The Storm Collectibles, I love those. But man, Jada, for the price point, dude, they're crushing it.
Well, I agree. I think Jada did an amazing job, especially with the price point. That played. Oh, dude, that E Honda looks so good.
It's so good. And so I was at WonderCon this weekend at a toy photography panel, ironically enough. But these were first to market for sale there at WonderCon, and so I'm like,
that's awesome.
I have to pick these up because I know I'm gonna buy it.
Oh yeah,
they're hard to find. So
I got a chance. Nalu and I got a chance to play with Balrog last year. We got a chance to play with Balrog.
Yeah.
But E Honda looks really dope too.
Yeah. What I love about them is they like the weight. Like if anybody has had them and kind of messed around with them, they feel. When they first started, it was like $25. I think they're maybe 25 to 30 now, and then 35 for like the larger figures. But it feels like you've got a lot of value just in like the weight of the figure. And
it's got a substantial feel to it.
It does. It does. And then you've got the accessories, but then also like the effects, like they're perfect. Exactly. Like this is brilliant. E Honda.
That looks awesome.
It's so good.
That. It's amazing.
He's going to be on my shelf just like that too.
It's so good.
And even the like the gis and whatnot, the way that soft rubbery plastic that they use is just phenomenal. It's there. It's sculpted correctly, but it's not hampering articulation whatsoever. Which
exactly.
It's
and especially like what we were talking about, like these accessories, just how simple they are to like implement, and just the design. The design of that is really, really exceptional.
Yeah.
The other thing is they feel like they have good quality. Like feels like you could beat the crap out of them, no pun intended, and you're not going to break them.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree with that too.
And I can't wait to see that beat up head pack too that was leaked.
Oh, okay. I kind of heard or got wind of that, but I have not seen anything.
Yeah, it was on that leak list that they found where it had like a glow in the dark Blanca.
Oh, cool.
I think there was another glow in the dark figure. It might have been from that was Scooby Doo. It was the glow in the dark deep diver guy.
Oh, that's
oh yeah, I forgot the name, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it showed that head pack, and then I think there was something else.
That's awesome.
No, I was referring to the Storm Arena, the 1/12 scale. So they scaled to Jada Toys, and it was like a response, right? Again, Jada did an amazing job, especially with the price point. So hey, look what we could do for $25, and then Storm Arena said, "Hold my beer." And they came out with a figure as well that was like $30, and amazing toy line, in my opinion.
Yes.
And now they have a battle going back and forth now. And the question has come up, who is the better Street Fighter at 6-inch?
I totally forgot about that, honestly. Just since I started collecting the Jada stuff, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm going to complete that. But yeah, I've seen posts from that, but I haven't actually had one like to mess around with. But I'd be interested to compare them. So
no, they're really good. I have a few.
Nice.
Yeah, they're okay.
What's your? I was gonna say, what's your comparison? How would you say they're the same or different or better or worse?
I like them better personally. The feel articulation is definitely more. So Storm. So I always give credit to Storm for their balance in the figure. Right, when you pose a figure and bring on the high leg kick and stuff like that, you could balance the figure a lot easier.
Yeah.
With the Storm collectibles, the Storm Arena, you could do the same thing, but I think Jada. I had a hard time balancing Jada for a while, but I think that changed, especially with the Kuma. When they released the Kuma's figure, the new one that just came out, that as soon as you're holding the figure, you could tell it's like really well balanced, and it was like I was able to pose it around to do some crazy, like articulation and just shots with it, and I was like, wow, it could do all this stuff that I was just praising Arena about earlier and why I chose Arena. And I was like, that's cool. And then I know with the change, I know they made a change with Balrog as well, with the butterfly joints and just, different things. They've done different things now. They're making changes to, like E-Honda has it now too.
Akuma and Balrog both have that completely up. It goes up, down, all around kind of shoulder, I think.
That's a really great design. And I think what I really like is when you're able to kind of hide that in there. So with using that sleeve of the shirt, it's a really great kind of hiding point. I don't like the figures. So sometimes SH Figure Arts, or even like some of the Mafex, however you want to say it.
Mafex.
Where like in the crotch area, there's like all these like 7 different parts. You can get like really great articulation, but you sacrifice like the form. Yeah. So that stuff I'm like, I'd rather have something that's not as articulated or overly articulated. So
well, another thing you want to play with an action figure, right? When you got an $80 to $90 action figure or more, some of these imports, it's like you break it, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
At least with a $30 figure, you're like, all right, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I was, that's one of the biggest things too, though, because I don't feel that bad when I break a Hasbro or like a Mattel figure versus like an import that cost me an arm and a leg to get. It makes you feel a lot worse. Or like a Mezco, like that's what the hell did I just do? That's a great articulation.
Because one of the biggest complaints I have with import figures, I don't like how it's a peg and the hand pops on the peg, because a lot of times that's like a ball peg or a hinged ball peg, and you kind of have like a little cutout, and it's this thin plastic, and if I'm trying to tilt the wrist at the wrong time, you get what Lou happened to Lou. You're just going to shear that hand right off.
Yeah,
$60 figure right out of the box, and I sheared her hand right off.
Dude, what do you think about if you're aware, but the newest update for the Mandalorian Black Series figure, they actually implemented that little kind of ball socket for the wrist.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Do you guys have the figure?
Yeah. I don't. It's different from the import. So it's literally just on a ball. So it's if you move it in any way, you're not going to just shear it right off because there's no hinge, right?
Yeah.
So that part's good. As far as the rest of it, my problem with it is it doesn't really seem to affect much. Like you can move it down a little bit or over, but it kind of moves itself back. So it almost feels like a useless joint. And that's what I don't like about it. Yeah. Like some butterflies, the butterfly doesn't actually stay. So it's like, what's the point of the butterfly if you move it and it moves right back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's one of my big nitpicks with classifieds. A lot of them have those butterfly joints, but half of them are so stiff they don't even move. So there's no range of motion.
Yeah.
With the Street Fighter stuff, man. Again, that was growing up on Street Fighter 2, like so good, and they've just done such a great job, Jada. And I need to check out the Arena stuff too. But
definitely check it out. But I mean, I collect them all, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah,
I have this thing with Street Fighter. I have to just buy them all.
Well, the other thing is with the Arena, they're doing Alpha 3, so maybe Alpha 3 aesthetics aren't what you're a fan of, but you're a fan of the Street Fighter 2 Turbo or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Jada's already announced their next Street Fighter line, and it's Alpha 3 as well.
Right, but
Of course.
everybody's buying. A lot of people that wouldn't probably buy Jada figures is because Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
It's been the
Championship
most
Edition,
classic,
whatever. Everybody played it. Even if you didn't know what a fighting game was, you learned what it was with that Street Fighter 2 game.
That's true.
100%. That was the game that started it all, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's funny today. So, did you ever play on PC Dark Forces, the Star Wars game?
Yes, a long time ago.
Oh man, I got on a rabbit hole. I was kind of like getting ready this morning, and I saw somebody post something about it, and like it was just like a really quick playthrough, and I was like, oh, this brings back so many memories, like on my PC. And I watched somebody like on YouTube. They like did an entire game playthrough. So I was like going through and watching a little bit, but then like fast forwarding to like the different stages. I'm like, even just like the sound effects I remember, like the weapons, and it's just like all these like memories that sit back far in the recesses of my brain that like just got reignited. I'm like, oh man, this brings back so many like feels. So I love that connection that we have like with Street Fighter or even to like other IPs and those games. It's so good.
Oh, I found somebody that did a lot of playthroughs of old original NES games.
Nice.
Oh wow.
And somebody to play through the original pro wrestling, the NES pro wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I sat and watched
Starman.
that whole thing with Starman and was it Giant Panther and all that. Oh, I watched that whole thing, and it was just like
Starman.
30 minutes, and it was like I felt like what was that, like 11, I think, when that came out? Maybe, I don't remember. But yeah, it was like that was that 11-year-old kid in my buddy's living room playing that over and over again. Hilarious. Yeah.
It's core memories, man.
Yep.
That's why we keep buying this stuff, because when they bring out all these things, like it's like that emotional attachment and those memories that come up. You're like, oh, I have to have this because it reminds me of those good times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, most of the stuff I buy today, I would say most of, not all of it, but most of it is because I had something with nostalgia back in the day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
100%.
Let's get back to toys, though. So, if you could choose one line out of your entire collection, what would be your favorite one?
That's an unfair question, Avi.
I know. It generally is.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably say I've got so many Star Wars figures that would be that's one that just is kind of near and dear to my heart. But for diversity's sake, I really like the Legends figures, Marvel Legends.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed especially the X-Men stuff recently. Just that, again, another show that I grew up with. That and Batman the animated series, and Legends. I like how colorful they are, and that there's a broad range of kind of you have like the comic style of characters versions, and you've got like maybe the recent movie. So I like that you can be in one line, but then have a lot of different expressions of the same characters. And the 97 stuff I just really, really enjoy. And like that Sentinel. Let's see, I think you can see it, but like that's Sentinel up there. That's some of my original Toy Biz like figures and things.
Oh yeah.
So I might go with Marvel Legends, to be honest.
Okay.
Marvel Legends?
Yeah, probably Marvel Legends.
But I still like Black Series.
I mean, I do.
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, what about? I mean, you can pick a Black Series in this next question. Now, what? Oh, go ahead. Tell him.
I was just going to say probably one of the reasons why is because you like you said earlier, you're almost tapped out on Black Series, right?
Yeah.
So, like Marvel Legends is kind of like that new hotness. Like you get one of those in your hand, like, oh, this is something I haven't had.
Yes.
Go.
You start getting that excitement back. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is that, like you were getting at, Talib, it's like, yes, we're getting new figures for the Mandalorian Grogu show, but I already have like 7 different Mandos already.
Yep.
I have the same exact Stormtrooper that they've already released, but they made a brown leg for the Remnant version. And they've got, like, they're reusing parts, which I think, like, my favorite, like all the troopers from Rogue One and Solo, I like that design of the troopers, and the Shore Trooper in particular is like probably one of my favorites. And so when they bring that helmet back in different ways, or they bring in the K2 droid, like an Andor and in Mandalorian, like I'm excited about that. But it's like it's still the same thing that we're getting. And for Hasbro, it's great because they can reuse the tooling and kind of recoup those costs, and that's awesome. But it's got so many versions of these troopers or these figures already. You know, like you said, I kind of just feel tapped out. I'm like, I don't really need this. Maybe 1 or 2 figures out of like 6 line or 6 waves. Right. But yeah, I think you're probably right.
And sometimes it's a good problem to have, right? Because
I think so.
It saves money for other lines to buy things with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it.
And the collectors who want it, I leave it on the shelves for them. So
exactly.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But and the same with clones. When they first started bringing the clones into Black Series, got excited.
Yes.
Because again, I love clones
yes.
and I love Black Series. But then, the little increment upgrades that they did, grab 1 or 2 maybe, but after a while, I get burned out of clones. And I'm not buying another clone.
And honestly, when I look back and compare, I'd say like the very first versions of the clones, I thought the proportions felt pretty good. Now they're not perfect, but then when you brought in like the updated version, I was like, well, the helmet looks way too oversized. And like I realized what they were trying to do, where you could eventually make the helmet that could have a sculpt underneath it. Like it took a couple years for that to take place, but you could see like a gray head sculpt underneath it. I'm like, okay, I see where they're going, but also like now like the legs feel weird, or the articulation's strange, but they were nice upgrades. So it kind of felt like this hybrid, like yes, there's some great things, but I also like the original.
I actually prefer the new Stormtrooper that came out with like the weird leg articulation. It's not the way I feel like it works better.
Yeah, it is. Like the Rogue One.
The Rogue One, like even like the one that had George Lucas as a Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I probably bought like 27 of those George Lucas Stormtroopers. And I literally was swapping different heads on each Stormtrooper and then putting the bucket back on. I was like, I got different Stormtroopers.
Well, that has so many. Yeah.
That original Stormtrooper sculpt was terrible for the original one, because remember it came out in the second wave of the line ever.
Orange box.
And it had the double jointed everything, but the arms and legs were so skinny.
And kind of wobbly and like would get deformed.
Exactly. And the actual joint, that knee joint, was just bendy, and the same with the elbow joint. They were terrible.
Let's see. Are you talking about the older one?
Yeah, the original one. Yeah, the first one that came out. It just they were new to doing that, I guess, and it showed.
See, Stormtroopers, in my opinion, should be mass released at $15.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
And there was so much good about it, but there was more bad than good.
But the other thing too, like the sculpt on this, like the helmet, is pretty spot on.
Yes.
And also, this is when I think the other thing that really stood out when this line hit was like even just the washes. Like we kind of take that for granted right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe sometimes we're like missing, like, why is there no wash on this figure? But like that was unique.
The deco, all that
deco was definitely
was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they were inconsistent over the years with it, because that first wave came out like a shot. I mean, the paint apps were amazing. The detail was amazing.
Yeah.
Even that Luke, that I don't care what anyone says, I love that figure. That figure is so good.
Jeez. The head sculpt is probably still one of the better ones. The paint's not the best, but
yeah, absolutely. For that, before that's pre.
It's 2013, I think.
That's one of the
2013.
2013.
So it's pre the face scanning technology. Before all of that,
What is it? Photoreal is what they call it.
Photoreal. That's the word.
Photoreal.
Yep.
I still have what I forgot the correct terminology. The Leia in the
Slave
the
Leia.
Jabba. So, yeah, slave Leia. But apparently someone on the channel corrected me saying you can't say that. And I was like,
Slut hey or oh gosh.
Slayer.
Don't cancel me.
What
Hut
a Freudian
Slayer, I think is what people
Hut
are.
Slayer, yes, Hut
Slayer,
Slayer. That's right.
No,
I was trying to remember. I was like, where are they calling it? I actually picked her up a few months ago, and she's still sitting in my closet right now. But
Yeah.
And
like
StreamYard, feel free to play it.
Sorry, no chewing. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, you know, we're talking about like these figures are released, but then when you get a custom like this, come on, focus, buddy. Let's do this together. We're on the same team, man.
Yeah.
This is from Fet Clone.
There it goes. Oh, that's really nice. That's a custom head.
Yep, Fet
That's
Clone.
gorgeous.
Sculpt and paint. Yeah, it's incredible. Anyway,
that does look really nice.
Yeah, there's a few heads that I've purchased from Fet, and they really elevate the figures. That's another thing that I always think is kind of cool. That there's so many amazing, talented artists who are taking and being able to like give you almost like a definitive version by just updating, like getting a new head sculpt and putting it on the body where the body's like perfect. Or maybe you do a quick wash and then it just really elevates it. So I think for those of us who are like particular in what we want, it's great whenever you're able to kind of like piece your own like definitive version together with customs, or if you're painting things yourself or whatever. Like I think that's really where it comes to life, and it becomes really exciting when you can kind of just like continue to like improve it versus just like demand that, hey, I'm paying this price, it's got to be perfect.
Right.
So, but yeah, there's some amazing customizers that I've fortunately been able to buy certain things from that I really love. So,
I mean, I think 3D printing has honestly changed the toy collecting community a
100%.
lot. In a positive way, like you said, like again, people being creative in different outlets, but it's also creating like the definitive version or even a custom that, you know, no one ever owns, and this is, hey, I have this idea, I want to run with it, and they make it, and it looks awesome.
Yep.
Right. Well, you know, and the better and better these 3D printers are, and the people that are doing the 3D printers are getting better too, but the people that are doing this and in that side of the hobby, they're, you know, because we talk about, and I'm sure you talk about this, Jason, or at least think about this, you know, the love of play sets that we had as kids. Companies aren't doing play sets anymore, but some of these guys that are very talented with the 3D printers are creating those for us. So Hasbro doesn't have to, because these guys were putting together, you know, set pieces and dios for us of exactly what we want to exquisite detail. Yeah, that's a segment I'm enjoying a lot. There's so many talented guys out there,
and it's cool. Like with Hasbro and the vintage collection line at 3 3/4, that's really awesome to be able to see how they've been able to do some of those play sets within vehicles. You know, doing, you know, I had that TIE Fighter, the Force Awakens TIE Fighter in the Black Series line. I'm like, this thing is awesome. Yeah. But also I'm like, where the heck am I going to put this?
Oh, the giant one? Yes.
And it's great. But eventually I'm like, okay, I'm going to, you know, take this over to my local comic shop and, you know, just kind of sell it to them. And it's still sitting there. So,
it's still sitting there.
I made the right choice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. I remember Toys R Us had that thing for on clearance for like $30 at one point.
Yeah.
And I
did they really?
Oh, yeah.
I would have bought it for $30.
I wanted to, but man, at that time, wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
There was no place to put it.
It's probably heavy too, right?
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, once you put the wings on, they're stuck. Like, if you want to pull them off, then it's going to break. And to me, I think that was an oversight where they really should have figured out a way where you can kind of break it down into pieces. And I think that probably would have been more successful. Or, you know, if they could have immediately followed up with an original TIE Fighter, just almost the same thing with just some variations, then I feel like that probably could have lasted. They never made an X-Wing. And I know it would, I get it. At the actual scale, X-Wing would be gigantic.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm like, but if you were able to break it down, I feel like that could have worked. But it is what it is. So.
Right.
If it wasn't for the old Mighty Mouse, there would probably be third-party companies out there that would do it, but they would get hit so hard and get rated quicker than because it was what was it? It was Wei Zhang, I think it was, that was doing a lot of Transformer stuff, and as soon as they did an Iron Man knockoff, the mouse was in there raiding that building.
Yeah. Yep.
Shut them down. Well, for a little bit. You can't shut down KO companies in China. They'll figure out a way.
I mean, the mouse is open now anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the mouse, but I'm just saying, using that as a term for Disney hobby. Come on. And they've changed the look of the mouse to where people can't use it. So you can do the Steamboat Willie looking mouse, but you can't do some of the other.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, what are your top 5 favorites in your collection?
Another hard question's unfair. No, I mean, there's a kind of a mixture, I would say. A mixture of toys. So, for instance, it's over there. I'm not going to go grab it. The Mondo Deluxe Iron Giant that came out quite a while ago. But the movie The Iron Giant, it's like this tall. But the articulation, like, it looks spot on. If you go through my Work More or Less Instagram page, you can see not too far down, there's like a shot with it.
Yeah. I saw that. I remember
that was one of the first figures that I bought, because I think that was maybe $150, maybe $200. And at the time I was like, am I crazy? Like, I was talking to my wife, I'm like, I really want this figure, and at the time she's like, that's fine, just get it, because I think she wanted to buy like a bunch of shoes and she didn't want to feel guilty about it. So she's like, no, you should really lean into your child self, and you should buy that. No, my wife's amazing. She's very supportive, but that is probably one of my favorites because it's just an amazing figure on its own. And it just reminds me of, like, that was one of the first collectibles. The Sideshow Boba Fett, Return of the Jedi, was probably the second. Not the Sideshow, the Hot Toys.
Hot Toys.
Show. That Boba Fett.
Is that the original one
here? It's like the Return of the Jedi. Yeah. And actually, I have a plan to put on this head instead, because I want to repaint it, because it feels like proportionally this one's better than the original it came with. It's right here. So this is the original, and it still looks good. But when I'm very, being like a designer, there's a lot of details that I pick up on, in proportion and that type of thing. Where this original sculpt that came, or the helmet that came with this figure, it looks great, but there's just something about it that doesn't feel like the proportions are correct to me. Okay. So when I found this one, I'm like, eventually I want to repaint this to go on this figure. But this is probably the second figure that was, again, like in the 150 to 250. I don't remember how much it was, honestly, but I spent a lot of money. This might have been like closer to 300 because of its being a deluxe. So those two figures are mostly just kind of nostalgic as far as getting back into collecting. The Boba Fett, like the white Boba Fett, the Walgreens prototype. That was another one that was early on. And then I would say some of, I don't know how many people actually know what I've done as far as like photography, but I've been working on the NECA TMNT cartoon line for a while, several years, and I'll show you a couple. But this one right here, so the Samurai and Space Pack, I actually got to design. Let's see on this side, right here. That's Jason cool. Young, yeah, I actually did the designs for these. Not the turtles themselves, but for the costumes.
Okay.
Wow.
On top of that, also did the illustrations. So this is like this is the first figure that I designed from a toy perspective, like did the drawings, and then those were obviously sculpted and then made into the figures. But it was cool because I got to make the decisions on, okay, well, what, some of you who are NECA collectors, we put a lot of like Easter eggs and certain things, references from maybe, just kind of like small, like deep cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun to be able to take some things that I pulled from maybe some inspiration from the Plates line or from other TMNT things and wrapped them in here. This was like the first one that I actually got to design and then do illustration. So
because the Samurai Leo and Spacesuit Raph, they weren't in the animation, right? They were toys
Correct.
Only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
when,
that's really cool. So you got to go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and for instance, like this is really kind of small. Doesn't really matter. Again, if you go to my Work More or Less page, actually my website, I've got a lot of like deep dives on this stuff. But like this little backpack, like that's something that I completely just designed, and they ended up making it an accessory. I'm like, okay, not only do I get to do the figures, but this accessory came out of my brain, like my drawing.
That's pretty
So
cool.
that feels, this is kind of just the piece where I'm like, oh man, this is like, I feel like I could not do anything else in the toy industry, but feel like I've like kind of checked off something on my bucket list. So that would be another one. And I love the Turtles line. Even before I started working on that line, I was collecting pretty much every single one that they released at the time. So that would be probably like, is that 1, 2, 3, 4 or something? While we're on NECA, this might be familiar to some. That's out currently. This was the first Ultimates. So what Ultimates is the one with the, basically NECA has the Ultimates that has the box flap. That's what they call them. Whereas this is just like a 2-pack with the window, right? So this is my first full Ultimates illustration, which means I got to do the design for the front and design for the back. So I would say this is kind of another one that I'm just like, it feels like it's part of my, like a grail in a sense.
Right, right. As it should be. And you should be proud of it, for sure.
So. Let's see, what else?
Was you a Garfield fan growing up? Or
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons,
right?
Garfield stuff. Oh, so fun. I loved all the McDonald's toys. I've been going back and like buying some of those old like late 80s, early 90s like McDonald's Happy Meal toys.
Yeah,
and
like
there was
chicken nuggets.
Remember the Garfield ones? You take the figures out, Muppet Babies, like all that stuff. I love
Muppet Babies, yeah.
So I'd say those have a lot of meaning, and then I don't know, that maybe like another 2 or 3 might be kind of challenging to pin down, but I don't know, just kind of a mixture of things. But can I get by with that answer?
Absolutely. Here's the thing: you were able to pull something that you said, "Hey, I worked on this." So not many can say that. So that's kind of cool.
I feel very, very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great stuff.
Joey 75-220 also mentioned, I think maybe this Ralph McQuarrie. Yeah, this is awesome. I found this at a toy shop in Atlanta, and I was like, that just is so clean and so good, and I love the coin over here. So sometimes I'll just pick up things that I never had this. I didn't buy this when I was a kid, but there's just some things that like the package art's beautiful, the design of the figure is beautiful, the presentation, it's like nice and clean. Like, or sometimes I'll just pick that type of stuff up because just like having it. And, when was this? I think it was last year or the year before. I wanted to design this whole back wall and do kind of like the pegboard. And what's cool about that is it's kind of modular. So I can move the shelf here if I wanted to. I can obviously use pegs and hang my carded figures. Have like the NECA Dio up here. So that's another thing that I've gone maybe more recently. I've really been looking for things that are on card. And that's been a lot of fun to kind of bring those things into my collection versus like new, like Black Series or classified figures. So it's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people here can look back and see how their collecting habits or maybe what their interests are have kind of like evolved over time. So that's kind of same thing with me when I collect.
No.
I'm with you on that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something to show you here. Bear with me.
Show me.
You guys keep talking. I'm trying to find it. So, because I think you'll like this one, Jason. Bear with me.
Now, did anyone in your life discourage you from collecting toys, or you've had a pretty good support system?
I honestly, no. My parents were always supportive because I think they knew I was an artist from day one, or just kind of like creative, and I got a lot of fulfillment and joy out of whether that be like cartoons or drawing or comics or collecting figures and those types of things. And my mom, I think she also enjoyed, more so my mom and my dad, like she would be the one that would be on the lookout or like try to find figures. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you get to see this.
There it is. Oh man,
this is the Boba Fett 3 3/4 Ralph McQuarrie.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
do you have one? I think I had that once.
I've got a couple of them. They're fairly easy to get now, and you can get them pretty cheap still, which is nice.
It just looks so good. The packaging is so good. Yeah. And again, the McQuarrie callback and like those originals from his art direction. So sorry to go back to answer your question. My parents were always really great. As I mentioned, like my mom would keep everything together. She'd probably pick up after us, make sure there's no Legos on the floor that get vacuumed up, keep things together. My brother and I, we both collected. He's 6 years younger than me, but we would kind of have the benefit of collecting. Like, for instance, he really loved, and myself too, like Batman, 89, 90, 92, that Kenner Batman line. Between both of us, like one Christmas, I think we had every single thing that they released at the time. And I was like, that was the best. So between both of us, we had a lot of that stuff. My parents were always encouraging of that. And then obviously with my amazing wife, who I married and been married for quite a while, she's also realized she knew who she was marrying.
Yeah.
So, she's always been supportive, and also just recognizing like she sees the kind of the joy that living in this space in the community brings me. She's like, okay, no, you need to go. For instance, like with WonderCon, I was invited to be on the toy photography panel, as I mentioned. And I was like, well, it's going to cost, some money. She's like, you haven't seen your friends in a long time. We could probably make it work. You should go. There's a lot of things that have been going on, been kind of stressful. And she's like, you should just go. So having that encouragement, and she's been going around. I told her, like, I'm looking for another one of these at Target to open. And then she's like, oh yeah, I checked 3 Targets while I was out today and I didn't find anything. I'm like, oh yes, I love you so much.
I love the fact that you have your wife hunting for you.
And I didn't even ask her to do it. She knew, because I'd be like, hey honey, I'm on the way home, I'm going to stop at Target to look for the figure. And then actually when I was out in Anaheim, we talked and she was like, yeah, I checked 3 different Targets today and I didn't see it. So I didn't even ask her to do it, but she was doing it. And then today I called her, same thing. I'm going to check this Target on the way home. She's like, well, the one on Memorial, it didn't have any, just so you know. So that's when I'm like, okay, I know I already knew I married the right person, but
it's like that's the communication men want, to tell us know what Target has what toys that we're looking for.
That's right. Yeah. I feel like I'm winning in life. Maybe not be, but I feel like
I 100% agree. I definitely I tell my wife to go to the store and pick up stuff for me all the time.
Yeah.
Like especially with like I got into cards recently, so that's been like the thing,
yeah.
and they limit quantities of what you can buy. So I'll send my wife, because I was like, listen, I'll go and grab it, and then you could go and grab it, and we have double the amount, so it's even better. Yeah. So she goes to the gym every morning, so I was like, hey, can you stop by Target on the way home?
Go early. I'll go after like late afternoon.
And I was like, I'll go. Well, I mean, I'll like you. It'll be the test run, right? Like she'll go and she'll come back home with stuff. And she's like, and then today she was like, they had the new One Piece. So I was like, nice. Great. So she picked up one of everything she could possibly get her hands on, and then I was like, all right, I'm out the door. And then so she got home, I left, and I got one of everything too. So that's awesome. But we open like cards with the kids, you know, like the Pokemon stuff. I open with the kids, and they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
it's been fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel very fortunate that I mean my eldest, he's like graduate, he's a senior. I've got a senior, a freshman, and a sixth grader, and so I'm kind of like starting to get to the point where they're going to be getting out of the house. It was just like that's a weird dynamic, but it's so cool to have been able to have them be part of this journey. And when I was collecting, or people were like, companies were sending toys, and we opened them together, and we were collecting Black Series together. Like for me, that's also a really crucial component to this whole like collecting hobby, where it's like I got to experience it, but then I got to introduce them to like Star Wars or Turtles or you know, X-Men, Marvel Legends stuff, and that's cool. And they've you know, my boys especially, they're older, they've kind of moved past that, which is totally fine. But when they were like the perfect age, we were able to like do Force Fridays and then go and wait for new Star Wars toys that were out, and they got into it. And Legos, and I should say Lego singular, not plural. But yeah, that's been another really cool like part of this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I tried to introduce I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old today, but when my 9-year-old was younger, I tried Star Wars. I tried so hard. It just didn't go.
It didn't stick. Yeah.
I've
got a few friends who are Star Wars fans, and they're like, I can't do it. There's nothing. So
yeah.
I made him watch stuff, and he was like, "This is cool, but can I watch my stuff now?" I was like, "All right, that's fine."
Yeah, exactly.
But my older one now is getting into wrestling, and I've been like a lifelong, I would say on and off lifelong fan. So
yeah,
I'm not hating the fact that he's watching it, and I kind of enjoy the fact that he's watching it. So I encourage you to, hey, let's go watch wrestling, and like I would love for you to watch the old stuff because that's better. But I mean, he's 9, so but he's like, but you know, like toys wasn't a thing for us, right? Like, well, it is, but it isn't. Like they would just buy it and touch it once, and then it just goes in the corner of a shelf. But you know, ever since my older one has been watching wrestling, he's been he's been bringing out all his wrestling figures, and he has like the ring, and he just plays with it while he's watching. And I was like, I kind of like this. Like he's making him play with toys.
Yeah,
not making him, but he's doing it himself, and like by choice. And I was like, this is great.
Exactly.
But
I'll catch my son while he's queuing up on Fortnite. He's got toys next to him, so he's playing with stuff at the same time, playing video games. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's like, I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but you know, whatever figure comes in, I'm like, all right, I'm working, but I've got the figure right on my desk, so I'll take a break and just like post it or something, move it around.
100%.
It's like a desk pig.
So, usually I'll be messing with stuff like when we're streaming.
Yeah,
I'm messing with
usually where I review stuff, it's like right next to me on my desk. So I mean, I got toys just
exactly
in arm's reach, right?
So this is a safe space. We're in good company.
Exactly. Oh, dude, I have like 12 figures over here right now because I opened a lot of my haul from this weekend, and I started kid bashing them. Yo, Joe Daddy, what's up, man? But then I got a big box in today from 5K, and I opened one figure, and it's so good. It's the same company that made the knockoff Chun-Li, or not Chun-Li, the Quinn-Li figure. That was my figure of the year last year.
Oh, wow.
And I bought 6 blank bodies, and I opened one just to articulate, and I've just been having fun articulating it the whole time. Like,
if it wasn't a Chun-Li, would you have placed it a little bit lower, or would it still been your figure of the year?
I mean, articulation wise, it was a great figure. Like, I mean, when you could do stuff like this, like that's amazing. But no, even if it wasn't a Chun-Li, I thought it would have been figure of the year, to be honest.
Okay.
For me, articulation is a big thing for me. So
Oh man, did you guys, anybody go to Toylanta?
Yeah. Lou and I were there. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember seeing your post. What was your overall thoughts? It seems like there were a lot of people there, a lot of brands and
fun show. It was a lot of fun show.
I love how it keeps growing. I'm from the area, so I've been going to Toylanta for roughly about 13 years, almost every year. Yeah. I remember the first couple times, well, even for a number of years, it was a very small little it was not what it is now. And it kept growing a little bit. And I think it's growing into something absolutely awesome.
That's great.
When I first went, it was all just vendors. There weren't companies. Mythic Legion was there, and they were kind of new
in the beginning. Yeah,
at the beginning,
exactly. They had a booth, and they'd be like way in the corner. And again, going in there, I was looking mainly for GI Joe, so I walked right by them. I'm like, I don't know who these guys are,
Yeah,
but they were the little guys back then. So to see it grow to what it's becoming now is just awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
It was definitely a fun time.
Well, I think three years ago it went on. It was bought out by a new person who started running the shows. Brett. Brett. He's a good friend of mine. He runs the shows now. He does Joe Lanta as well.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So, and that's in that same Duluth, Georgia area, the same building, or the convention center, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah, the Gas South Convention Center.
Yeah. It's a great location. It's a really good. It's a nice location. And again, he does a good job running the shows because he's got a lot of toy companies. Like I was. There was a lot of cool companies there. Savage Crucible was there. Four Horsemen was there.
Yeah.
Like Skeletron was there, and that's not my first time seeing Skeletron, but it was actually my first time buying a Skeletron figure from them and then actually opening it.
Nice.
I was so impressed with the figure.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to buy 10 more. And I really was. I have my cart is already it's open right now, and there's 7 figures sitting in there right now. I was like, man, I can't. I shouldn't.
Sneak up on it. Sure.
But it's I was like, I'm big into army building, right? Like Black Series. I have 3 shelves full of stormtroopers, different style, or some of the same, but I like the army build look.
Me too.
Valaverse, I have a lot of the swarm troopers, just to it looks nice when they're all together. And I've worked on a Shadowloo shelf back here, which is really just my own world because no one makes Shadowloo army, right? So I've been making my own build, and the Skeletron figures match the color. The black and red is what I'm going with, the theme. And I was like, this is perfect. And then actually opening it and playing with it, and I was like, this is really nice. It's buttery smooth, and articulation is amazing. I was like, I didn't realize this is this good.
That's cool.
Now I want to buy more. And the fact that you could get the accessory kits and put them on other figures, and then make them look different but yet somewhat similar. I love that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool, Stu.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You will get to see Savage.
I separated my Python Patrol and put it on that cabinet back there, that bookshelf back there. I was like, wow, I bought a lot of Python Patrol. I have 4 or 5 Vipers. It's like, oh
yeah. But they look good together.
They do look good together, man.
You got a crew, man. It's it's a good statement shelf piece.
Yeah.
And that Python Patrol was that was a complete pass for me because again it was not in my wheelhouse, right?
Same. Yeah.
But then they showed up on Ross for $5-6, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get a couple.
I bought them all.
Since they don't have very many vehicles out for Joe, if they did a Python Patrol decoed hiss, I would probably be all in because that I had the Conquest and the Stun as a kid, and that there's something about that Python Patrol deco on the vehicles that's
cool.
That's amazing.
Did you like Tiger Force too?
I agree.
Oh yeah. All the subsets.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is how many fans there are of Night Force, but they're not of Tiger Force or Python Patrol. And Night Force was behind those.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's just because of the aesthetic. A lot of people
why is that, you think?
It is. It's the aesthetic. The Night Force can be kind of blend into semi-real world military, whereas Tiger Force and Python Patrol are really outrageous looking.
Yeah.
And I really like
Warriors now.
and I like what they're doing with Classified with the whole Night Force as the team that fights the paranormal or just weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
All right. I do want to talk about photography.
Let's do it.
Well.
I want to answer questions.
All right.
So I'm gonna bring this up first. This is Invisible Element. This is your company.
Yes, this is my day job. I guess
this is your day job.
It's one of my day jobs, I suppose. But yes, so I do all these things like creative direction strategy, art direction, brand identity, animation, illustration, a lot of different things. So been able to do a lot of really great projects with different brands over the years. And yeah, I think what's so fun is like just the diversity of the types of clients I get to work with, and whether they be like large brands where you recognize some of the logos. Some of those might have just been one-off projects, or maybe smaller brands that I get to do, or companies, businesses that I get to do ongoing work for. It all is just super rewarding. And obviously now that I've been able to kind of, with my credentials, like kind of in the credentials sounds stupid, but all the stuff I've done as kind of the hobby in the toy space, it's now allowed me to have the ability to do this type of creative work for brands like Hasbro, Mattel, Bandai, NBC Universal, who is part of Jurassic World under that kind of umbrella. So lots of really fun stuff. And you can kind of go through and see like that mixture of motion design and animation in some of these projects. But then I really like kind of being able to include like illustration into my animation work and art direction. So lots of cool stuff here. There's a lot of things that I still haven't, like I'm the worst at like updating my own site and my own stuff on Instagram for both accounts. But yeah, at least this is some of the work that at least represents what I do in terms of like from a creative like industry standpoint. And I'm also 3 years ago, I'm finishing up my third year, but I'm a professional in residence and I'm considered full-time faculty at the University of Tulsa here in Oklahoma. And I teach design and animation to my students. And it's really cool because I'm very intentional about being able to show students the client projects that I am able to work on, kind of show them that like relevant experience. And I can walk through like projects and I can show them like, all right, here's how the client, like I interacted with them. Here's the actual project file that I built out for this animation. And then especially with the toys and like the pop culture stuff, they're like, oh, that's crazy. I can see my professor's work on the Jurassic World YouTube channel, or I can see the toys designed, the toys he's designed at Target and see his name on the bottom. So it's giving me like a little bit of street cred. So being pretty old, though, man. Yeah, I was going to say being older, but still being able to connect with Gen X, or Gen Z, I should say. More like but being able to connect with them on this level, they're like, okay, I think he's all right. He's pretty cool. At least I'd like to think so. So it's fun. I do that, and then also kind of in the academic space as well. And again, a lot of just crossover and being able to be an educator and have all these examples of the clients that I get to work with, and just give them a little bit of insight of what that looks like in the industry, helps prepare them for when they move towards that with their career. So I could do a lot of fun things. Like I said, it can get kind of busy at times. So I'm always looking forward to the weekends or doing this and talking about toys and just kind of chilling. So
it definitely sounds busy, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I feel very fortunate that I get to do it. So
I also have your website open, workmoreorless.com.
There we go. Yep.
And I did like one aspect of this website where you had the different areas here. You get to learn, work, gear, and shop.
Yeah.
So the learn, you actually teach like techniques and tutorials and behind the scenes stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Yep. And honestly, I started this techniques in 2023. And what I wanted to do, and this is actually the year I started teaching full-time as a professional in residence. But this year in January, I'm like, okay, I want to do a technique like an old, whether that be like in film, like a practical special effects technique, every single month. So I'm going to focus on one. So this one was using when I came into toy photography, I started using my screen, and this was like 2015. So as far like I called it Digirama, and it's cool because like people are still using that term and kind of into that toy photography. But that was like, this is the technique that I wanted to kind of lean into and just show how it works. Do a really deep dive article about it on my website. But some of the other ones like Pepper's Ghost, Infinity Mirror, where you're taking two mirrors and like basically whatever you're seeing is getting infinitely reflected into itself, so you can get like really interesting effects, like that Star Wars trench. That's the Infinity Mirror technique
right here.
Okay.
And so that gave me an opportunity to really dive into learning how to implement different techniques and special effects that I was interested in since I was a kid. And how does that fit in the toy space? How can I take those practical effects and approaches to, say, film, or bring that into photography? And how do those pair with like different IPs? With Star Wars, how does it pair with Lego? Or if you scroll down, there's one that's Mario, and I did like light painting, like with photography. And so
Rainbow Road.
Right. So if you click on that one, you can see like a little bit more like deep dive. But being able to take this idea of light painting with a long camera exposure and then practically shooting all of this in camera with like 15-second exposure, I could make this color trail and make it look like Rainbow Road. And again, going back to something we talked about at the beginning, I stay interested in the hobby because it allows me to explore different techniques or different skill sets, or how can I, learn something while I'm also enjoying the photography aspect. With this, I'm like, okay, the original Mario Kart figure is cool, but he's like looking straight ahead and the pose is like really stiff. So then I bought a second one, and then like I tore it apart and like, let's turn his head and make it look like he's actually drifting and pull the wheels off. And so those types of challenges where I can elevate this image, I can more like kind of art direct it in a way that feels dynamic and what I would want to see. It's just been a really great place for kind of like that type of exploration.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can see, like, if you see these side by side, see how the one on the right's the one I've changed. It's just so much more interesting. So
I agree, it is more interesting.
It adds more life to it completely.
It does, right?
And then
he's like excited to drive the vehicle. It literally shows excitement. There's
action and there's
when you look at the final photo, I think at the end, if you keep scrolling, it looks like he's actually coming out of that turn, or is about to like kind of drift into a turn or something. It's fun.
And then you use, for the road itself, Rainbow Road, you use the camera, your phone, to catch the light.
Yes.
The 15-second exposure. Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah. So I just really enjoy being able to use toy photography for exploration. And again, there's tons. So you can dive in, and I like to talk about, okay, what's the history of this technique and how can I bring that into the toy photo space? And so it's just really kind of like exploring what that looks like. And there's tons that's there. And then even just walking through like the digiorama technique that I kind of started using early on in my toy photo journey, kind of have a few articles there. So I really enjoy being able to give back, and when I learn things, be able to share that. And obviously that's kind of transitioned into being a professor to my students. But I've always enjoyed being able to learn from others, but then also sharing like my insight and my experience and knowledge with other people. So then like when people are like, oh, when I get started in toy photography, what should I do? What gear do I need? And so it's easy to just say, well, I've got a resource if you want to check that out, but focus less on what gear you don't have or what you need, and just focus on what's the story you're trying to tell? What do you have available? Because you can take beautiful photos with just like desk lamps.
Right.
And just,
that's true.
Be intentional with like how you're lighting things or how you're framing. So it's fun to be able to like take what I know from a design standpoint and just like pass that along. So especially now, like it's crazy. Some of the people who are starting out in toy photography in recent years, they're starting off at my year 3 because they've had all this knowledge they can build on, or they've got so many resources available, and I'm like kind of jealous of that. But also, it's fun to be able to like be one of the old guys who, like, we were trying to figure those things out. And again, a lot of us were willing to share a lot of that knowledge. So that feels really good.
It should. I mean, you're one of the innovators of it. You know, like I told you, I was following you long before I even thought of getting into toy photography.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good.
And it's due to Black Series. Like I said, you were one of the first people that popped up as Black Series. I said, I was new to Instagram at the time, and I was like, "Who's this guy? Man, his stuff's amazing." And so,
thanks, man.
All these years,
I'm pretty sure I found you through Black Series as well.
It's so fun.
I love seeing behind the scenes photos because it makes me question like, why can't I fucking do this? And it's like, it's right there. It's right there. It's like, that's what I gotta do. Now, so let's talk about gear. What gear do you use?
I need to update that gear page because it's like older. I started off with like a Canon and some of the stuff, and it's still relevant. I still have that, but I've also switched to like Sony. So I've got an A7 IV that I'm shooting with, and then also OM system, which used to be Olympus. I worked with them on a couple of projects, and so I've got the OM1 camera, and that's really fun to play with, especially for like macro photography. So to me, I think that's I just want to hit that point for especially those of you who may get wrapped up, because sometimes I do. I'm like, well, I don't have the right gear to do certain things. And I've kind of been jumping around, and I feel like I don't want to be stifled by feeling like I've not got the right thing to create a shot. So, I'll say I enjoyed when I was shooting with Canon, my 6D. I love that camera. The Sony is great. The OM1, like it's cool to be able to kind of have several different types of tools that you can use to create it. But I could get the same exact shot from any one of those cameras. But like with lighting, I've got like a newer, like a multicolor light that I got recently. I've got some LED like panels from GVM. So a lot of it's just slowly I'll just kind of buy things as I need them, or realize like some of these panels are getting old. Maybe there's some newer ones that are good price. I just, the gear, it does make a difference, and you can definitely see you can level up the more that you have available to you. But I try not to get too wrapped up in that stuff, but it does make a difference. Or you can see like these behind the scenes where I'm using like a literal like can light, and then all this random crap back here,
and a router.
And like cables and
that's a router. But even one of your other shots I was looking at, I was like, you have a Star Wars box right here, and then just like that just looks like one of those paper towel rolls.
It is. I just painted it gray, and then the digiram in the background, that image, like concept art, and then like some kind of cookie sheet or something. But with the camera sees, like that's what you have to focus on.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing. Before we move on, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Figure Fight Club. Thank you always letting me do my streaming. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming back from Target and supporting Obby's habit.
Thank you for buying me Pokemon cards.
Always.
It's also for the kids, so it's not just for me.
Okay.
It's mostly for him.
They were asking for it. Yeah.
One piece is for me. That's 100%.
There you go.
See, I like that. So my other question now, you've talked about a lot of different cameras, but what about a phone?
Oh, dude. I mean, every phone now is fully.
I mean, they're like 20 megapixel cameras. Yeah, every phone is
even that doesn't it doesn't even 50 matter. Millimeter. It's really like the lens options that you have that are built into cameras or phones these days. I think there was one time I actually did a side-by-side comparison with my iPhone and my Canon, and it was like Mando with Grogu, the Hot Toys one, and they were playing with like a little like Hot Wheels like track, like little miniature one, and I did a side by side. And I'm like,
yes,
they both work. Like, it's hard to say. If I didn't tell you which one was which, you might be fooled. So
Yeah.
The phones these days, like they can do amazing stuff, and you can do edits right on your phone. If I'm ever doing any reels, like I'm not using my big camera for that. I'm using my phone and for behind the scenes content, just because it's so much more efficient. So
yeah,
and I understand that too. I mean, I'll be upfront. I have a DSLR camera. I am just so lazy. I mean, it's sitting behind me right now because I did a photo shoot recently, and I still have to take the pictures out. I have one of those old school ones where it comes with a little memory card.
Yeah.
But eventually I'll update it to Bluetooth, but I don't really shoot that much anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because I use my phone. I use my phone because it's more efficient for me.
Whatever. Here's the thing: like whatever gets you there. Like you said, if it's like it's going to take so much longer to get up my DSLR and shoot. It's like, well, you've got your phone right there, and that means you can shoot in 20 minutes versus like an hour and a half. Like, do that. There's nothing wrong with using your phone.
I will probably
Thank
cry
you for saying that, because that's all I use is my phone. So
that's
I appreciate that, brother.
No, but that's the truth. Like, I mean, like I do model photography, so I had to shoot on earlier this week, and it's just a hassle, right?
It is.
It's
more work.
I have to clean the camera, clean the lenses, and then to take out all my light. I mean, I guess for the phone photography, you have to do that too, but take out all the lights, and then it's like a big ass bag I'm wearing, walking around with a big bag, and like I have two cameras in there. I have a Nikon and then a Sony mirrorless one.
Nice, yeah.
But like it's just so heavy and just just a big camera bag.
I would imagine too for you, since you use that for actual like shoots. If you get them out to set up in your studio to take toy photos, and then the next day you've got to strike that, and you've got to put everything back so you can go out and do this actual photo shoot elsewhere. Like that's that much more work, and that's a pain in the butt too. So no, I don't blame you.
It feels like we need a preview of that photo shoot after the show ends. We need to get that memory card out.
There we go.
Yep.
That's that. So I mean, so we have another co-host on our Tuesday nights, Jenna Say What. She does a lot of cosplays, and I met her. Yeah. I met her actually through cosplaying because I was doing a lot of photography during that time.
Yeah.
And that's how I met her, and we became friends. And I started using for a lot of different shoots I was doing, ideas and stuff. Yeah. And eventually she became a co-host of Figure Fight Club.
That's awesome.
Last year we did a scratch and sniff sticker for one of the toy conventions.
Yeah.
And it was of her. It was of her cheeks. It was of her cheeks.
Okay.
And this year, since we're going to be at IshCon together as well, I was like, "Hey, what do you think about a scratch and sniff too?" And she was like, "Let's do it." And I was like, "Awesome!"
As long as she's on board, if she's on board, then that's
she loved it. The rule was like we're handing these out for free, right? So the rule was you could there it is right there. Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's bold. Yeah.
The rule is you could take it, but you got to scratch and sniff, and we're taking the photo of you doing it.
That's funny.
And it was just for fun, and we had a blast.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I guess the cool thing was a lot of I'm almost out of all the stickers. I ordered a set amount, and I probably have 10 left, I think.
Yeah. That's funny.
So I was like, it's time for a part 2. So we ended up doing that, and we'll get it out, and I'll order extra just so we can have it for most of the other conventions this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got to have that collateral. Yep.
Exactly. This is I always go back and forth. This is Realization?
Yeah, the
movie Realization.
Yeah.
Star Wars figures.
Those are so good. That's an amazing line. Yeah, I still have those. I haven't gotten them out in a while, but
I have 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
No. They look dope. And again, you're using is there a certain monitor you're using? Is it a 4K monitor, or is it?
No, this is probably 2016. So it's not great. It's maybe like a 60-inch TV. It's in my living room.
Okay.
So again, you don't really have to have the most expensive equipment or anything like that.
I mean,
because
TVs these days are so cheap anyway. They're like $100.
exactly. Yeah. And the cool thing is, like with this shot in particular, I think there might have been some pixelization, like when I zoomed into that image. I think I actually used Photoshop to take a picture of the moon and then did like place the stars. So this is kind of like a custom background that I created specifically for the shot. What I would do is I'd end up just having Photoshop open on my laptop and then use Apple TV to cast it to my television. And what's cool, then I could actually take all the layers and rearrange them based on where my camera angle was. So instead of just relying on one photo that I've either found or shot myself, if I have the ability to move those layers around in real time, then it just gave me more flexibility. So but even that, what I was going to say is, I'm in the final shot, I believe that was really more kind of out of focus, and really had like sharp focus on the figure, but I didn't really need to worry about the pixels being maybe a little bit kind of artifacty, or there's like some pixelization on it. So again, it doesn't really always matter. It's all about what the camera sees, and how can you fool the camera into making it feel like the lighting is coming from the moon. So like the direction of where you're putting that light, it should be informed by what the image is or what that scene is you're building. And then it really starts making it feel like it actually belongs there.
Yep, that makes sense.
And that's just like a basket underneath. But I was like, if I turn that upside down, it kind of looks like the roof of like some kind of,
like a house or a building.
Yeah. Or even with the right focus, just terrain.
That's you. Yeah,
I love the fact that you just use random objects around the house. I really do. That's awesome.
Yeah. One of my good friends, a skeleton astronaut, also a lot of Star Wars photography, TVC and Black Series. He shares a lot of his behind the scenes shots as well, and it's the same where I'm like, oh, that's like this random styrofoam from like packaging, or like all these really interesting pieces or recyclables, where I'm like, yeah, it's just about form. It's about the shape of those things. You might just spray paint them or something. But if you take your brain out of what the object is that you're seeing, like, oh, this is a recycled piece of styrofoam or something. Well, if you rotate that and you're looking at it specifically from the camera's perspective, like, oh, there's like some cool shapes that look like it belongs in the Star Wars universe, or like some of those like slat versions, or like this is Jabba's hut, or sorry, Jabba's the original Return of the Jedi figure, the Jabba little playset. And if you turn it on its side, it kind of looks like the edge of a wall, and some of those textures are really interesting. So
that's true.
Yeah, that works well.
And it also makes it a lot more flexible when you're trying to build out a scene, where you're not like, oh, I've got to build this, diorama out of styrofoam, or this insulation foam. Like, you could, and it'd probably look amazing, but maybe you don't need to. You just find what you've got lying around and see what you can do with recyclables or stuff that's within reach first, and then it might save you a lot of time. So,
Now the sand, do you use like the kinetic sand, or is this real sand?
That's kinetic sand, because that's really the only thing I had. There's some other. I think at one point
the only reason I'm asking is I have like a 5-pound bag of kinetic sand I bought because I wanted to do some like gladiator shots, and I was like, ooh, kinetic sand is perfect because they'll just stick with each other and I can clean it up very easily. I don't like leaving all the stuff out.
I agree. I'm fortunate that I've got an upstairs space that's kind of my studio, and I've been able to kind of have things set up, and my kids still have like kind of little upstairs at like the top of the stairs. It's kind of typically where the boys are playing, if they're playing like video games or something. And my daughter's like crafting on different places. So I've got this space to myself, at least for now.
I mean, I do too, but I'm just anal retentive when it comes to
I agree. Yeah. There's sometimes I'm like, I got to close this door and just this is for future Jason's problem to solve.
The fact that I have boxes all like on the floor of my toy room, it pisses me off so bad, and I hate going in there because I have boxes on the floor.
I try to. I've sold a lot of stuff recently, and it feels really good to make space.
Yes.
But you can see a lot of the stuff is going back to like the earlier days where I'm doing a lot of Black Series.
So how do you deal with the reflection? on the screen?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So one thing again, as I'm kind of playing around with photography and using my experience from post-production, like video type work, and just understanding technically how cameras and lenses work. One trick, and this is really cool. If you go to real quick, let me show you. This will be easier. If you go to the tutorials, I think, and let's see, go to learn. Yeah, learn, and then tutorials. And if you look at,
I don't think tutorials was loading for me.
Okay, try to go to the very top navigation. I need to fix that. Under learn here, and then keep scrolling down. I think it might show up. Well, dang. Okay, maybe type in. Sorry, I think this will be easier. But if you go to work more or less, and then maybe tutorials instead of blog-learn, or maybe it's
Which one? Which one was it?
In the URL, yeah. Just type in tutorial after that, I think, or afterworkmoreless.com. Well, thanks for showing me there's broken links. That's good to know. Try tutorials, maybe.
Tutorials.
Careful with
still
that.
be
You can see
broken.
your
There we go. Okay.
history.
This is my work laptop, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so scroll down. I got to fix
I
this.
saw
thing.
OnlyFans something on there, Lou.
I did too. Man.
You did not. This is a work laptop.
Okay, so we've got Digirama 1, 2, and 3. I think it's part 3. But again, like I was kind of telling you, I like breaking down details. If you keep scrolling, I'm going to show you. I use something called a circular polarizer, and that goes on the front of your lens.
I have one of those.
Okay. So what's really cool, here you go. So this right here, this is a really good example. If you use a circular polarizer, and for instance, if you're shooting with a Digirama or a screen, like a TV or a monitor, that circular polarizer will reduce reflections. You can use a regular polarizer. It will do that like if you're taking photos of maybe water, or maybe if you're taking photos of a car, it will reduce the reflections off the glass. With the circular polarizer, you can rotate that and you can adjust how much of that is actually knocked out. But with this, if you use a circular polarizer on a TV or a monitor and you turn that down, it removes the image off the screen. It's crazy. So this representation here is the same photo with C3PO and R2, but the polarizer has basically removed that background image, and you're still getting you can still see it with your eyes that the image is still on the screen, but the camera is basically blocking that image out off the LEDs, which is really crazy, like the monitor. And you're still getting the physical light shining on the figures. It's crazy. So that circular polarizer will do a couple things. It reduces what you see from like a digital screen, but then also it can help with knocking down those reflections. Or like those really bright, if you can see the lights reflecting off the screen or off the figure, it can help you with adjustments.
So all I'm hearing right now is that I need to buy a 60-inch TV to put in my toy room.
Yeah, you do.
I have a 52-inch. I have a 52-inch one right now, but
I mean,
it's hung up on the wall. Though.
You should get a 100-inch because I saw that at Sam's early this week. I'm like, good God, that is
100-inch.
Yeah,
I've seen that same one at Sam's Club.
I had to move a 92-inch TV, and that wasn't fun.
Jeez.
But it was installed in the theater room of my sister-in-law's house. So
yeah.
But so no, I mean, I have a 52 or a 56-inch TV, but it's again mounted on the wall. It's not easy to get to.
Yeah.
Especially like if I'm gonna I do love the concept of the Digirama. I've definitely done that a few times in the past, but again, I see reflections when I would do it. I'm gonna try it because I definitely have a polarizer on my attachments for my lenses.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I want to try it. I might go buy another TV tomorrow. I mean, I don't need to get a 60-inch. I can get the 32-inch and just put it in the background of my table.
Well, that's what you can do and kind of sit it back and it's
it just be
perspective type thing.
Yeah, set it back and let it sit there, and it could be because I have a 2-foot table where I do a lot of stuff on. It's 2 foot wide, 2 foot deep. I think I'll try it out just to see.
And honestly, to answer your question, a lot of times you're going to get reflections. So what I try to do is just be intentional, like where I'm placing my lights, where the reflection of the light, where the camera is, I may be able to kind of change my camera perspective so the reflection is actually behind the figure, that you're not actually seeing it, or it's just out of frame. So a lot of times it's just moving stuff around to see what works, because you can't just get rid of all the reflections or all those bright hot spots. So trying to use as many tools as possible. And that circular polarizer's done a lot of great work for me over time. So
I am
delving into action
right now. I've got everything on. I've got a 65-inch TV too.
Not to brag.
I do.
Jeez. Here's that Iron Giant. Yep.
What were you
going to say, Lou?
I was going to say, I did not know about this website of yours until today.
Okay. Awesome.
And I am
surprised.
so glad I do now, because I have a lot to dig into.
Okay. There's tons. And I think this is also great for me because it feels kind of like a portfolio, but it also feels like a journal in some respects.
It does feel like a journal. I agree with that.
Yeah. So even it's just like building or like playing with techniques or, this is a show of like during kind of COVID that my three buddies, they were doing called Rexing Around, and they had this opening where they were all three, like they cosplayed as the shock trooper and the shore trooper. This is a screenshot. These three are screenshots from their open to the video open to their show. And so I recreated it because I was a fan of the show, and I recreated it. I think if you go down a little further, you can see I ended up taking photos of it, like again, like building the diorama, building the hall, and then I sent them. I took photos that I think are further down, but then I actually had them printed on like a blanket and like a little pillow that you can put on the couch and a mug. And I sent that to them just as like a gift. Yeah, those there, and just matched kind of with their.
That's actually pretty funny though.
And it was funny when they opened it because they get a lot of fan mail, and when they opened it, they're like, "Oh wait, that's us. That's pretty cool." And they're like, "Hang on, the hallway. There's furniture missing there," and they're like, "Wait a second, dude, is this? Wait, these are toys? Hang on just a second." And like it was just like this slow like realization that. This was a diorama that I built, and then I, featured them as their cosplay characters, and then they're like, "Oh wait, no, this is like cardboard. This is." And then I showed them like the behind the scenes, and they had that on their set for a while, and I was like, "Man, this is fun." So it's like random. Some of these things are kind of random, but that was a fun project, and they really really appreciated it, which made me feel pretty good about it. So.
Yeah,
that's actually really fun though. I mean, so dioramas. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
You obviously use a lot. You use whatever it's kind of available to you, and you have the eye for it. It seems like with random things around the house. Yeah. Now, when you prepare for a shot, do you think about the idea? I think this was a question actually. Or here, Goose did kind of bring this up a little bit earlier in the show. He said, "Do you think a great toy photo starts with the figure or the idea?"
I think Goose knows the answer to this, the way they've phrased the question, because it's always for me, and this is what I tell my students. This is what I always go back to. It's always about the concept first, and if you can figure out what you're trying to say, what's that story? It's for instance, if we're doing photography, it's one image. What are you trying to say in that one image? And if you can figure that out first, then that informs like, okay, well, what figures are going to use, or what background elements are going to use? Are there additional layers to the story you want to say that maybe are not completely explicit, but in the background, there's like little like narrative pieces that are happening. If you all follow Plastic Action, Jax,
Plastic Action,
he does a lot of like stop motion these days. He actually just did for the newest Marvel Deadpool wave.
That was really good. Yeah,
he did some stop motion to reveal that dropped today. So if you start seeing that pop up on your feed, it's actually similar to this like this pegboard he used. We were talking about it, and he's been using that for some of his stuff. But if we look at his work and look in the background, he does this thing called plastic ballers, he loves basketball and toys, and so he's kind of made this whole like sub series and of plastic ballers with like pop culture toys playing basketball. But you'll notice in his photos, just like a lot of other artists, they will have other characters in the background that are they're maybe part of the story, or it's just like really, really like small Easter eggs that the longer you look at it, you start realizing, oh, there's additional things happening. And I think the concept is really what helps push that. And then you can decide like what it is, how do you bring that concept to life in the best way? And that could be with dioramas, choice of dioramas, the camera angle, the lighting that you're choosing. So I always definitely will start with the idea or the concept and then kind of build out.
Now, how do you, so like this shot right here for Woody? This is the Rebel Tech Woody, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming this is just your like corner of your bedroom, and you have the hallway lit up at the other side, and you're just having fun with it. Yeah. Okay.
If you scroll down, I think there's BTS there as well. But yeah, this was in my office. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought I had some. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I love this Woody figure, and I've been trying to find this Woody figure for the longest time now.
Yeah, I think it's probably expensive now, but
yes, it is.
I know I posted some BTS on my Instagram account, if anything. But yeah, for that shot, I was trying to challenge myself to actually use just like the corner of the room or the space as it is, and because it's Toy Story, it's like, oh, that works anywhere. Or like using man, like that figure's perfect. You can put him in literally any location, and even if it's a 112 figure, in the real world, he looks small. So this, I was like, I don't need to build a diorama. I can just use the corner of my office, and then I can bring in my lights and really try to make it dynamic and like tell that story. But this one was really fun. Going back to what I was talking about, you just bringing in other background characters where Obi-Wan's got his hands up, like or Judy Hopps is kind of like concerned, or Barbie's like hiding her face. There's a lot of those really fun moments where just in posing, you could have a lot of those kind of other layered stories.
I had this toy as a kid right there, the Darth Vader.
The Vader, yeah. That's a good one.
I mean, again, like this type of photography is just so fun.
It is, yeah.
Now, do you have the diorama with because I know a lot of people made the Star Wars walls and all that stuff in the doorway. Even I've owned it. I just got rid of it very quickly because I have no place for it.
At the time, the GTP was the company, GTP Toys, and they made these walls that are really great quality. And so I had a set of those, and those showed up in a lot of my Star Wars work. Again, you could just sit here and scroll like on my Instagram account, and eventually you get down to where it's like all Star Wars. But yeah. For instance, this was my pulling toys from my daughter. Like a lot of this stuff is hers. This is actually the dinosaur in the front. That's like my original Dino Rider.
This one right here?
Monoclonius, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I see it.
All these things I had kept and used, or daughter's toys. She had like this little doll, like desk, or not desk, but like a bedroom or office with all these accessories. I'm like, that works perfect. So find what's available and use that and see if it works.
I mean, I love the concept of it. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you want to look at the Jurassic World, I think on this, I've got it on Work More or Less. If you go back to the main homepage, I think there's a quick link to it. But going back to your question, click on that and then scroll down. I think it's maybe one of the episode 8. Yeah, there's also one. Well, you can click on that, the episode 8 one. Sorry, the very top banner right here. Yeah, if you click on this view project, a lot of times what I'll do, and you don't have to watch the video, scroll down. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just buy a lot of like fake plants, and I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but let's get a variety of these different types of
Lou knows all about the fake plants.
Yeah, right.
He keeps sending me photos of the damn plants he keeps buying. I was like, man.
They work.
They do work. I agree, 100%. They work great.
It's awesome texture and filler. But scroll down some more. So this is a really good example where I'm using. So those rock pieces I actually built for actually a Hasbro Indiana Jones project, and I was able to build those, but then repurpose them. So that's another great thing about having your own Dio pieces, where they can still work for multiple instances. And I intentionally built them in separate elements that could be rearranged and reconfigured. And I was like, well, I'm doing this project for Jurassic. It makes sense to do something outdoors. I've got these rocks. Let me arrange those first. And as soon as I was able to kind of frame it, how I was happy with how the camera saw it, then I would start large with the large wall pieces, and then kind of get smaller and then work to like the small rock details in the foreground. Maybe put the rocks first, and then start putting those larger fake plants in, and then using moss to kind of just cover and fill in all those little gaps like you're talking about, Lou. So it's what I really enjoy is being able to have a lot of Dio pieces that you can just kind of use modularly, and then you can kind of build different scenes. Because I think I used these same ones for several other projects. But
the wall, did you cut and paint the foam yourself?
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
Good.
That is.
Yeah, and I think on my Instagram account, you can see a version for that Indiana Jones shot. You can see a version where everything is unpainted, but it's just all carved out, and it's all like that pink, purple, pinkish foam.
I was gonna say, all I'm seeing right now is a great pit for gladiators to fight.
Ooh.
Is that
That.
that you're right? You're right. It is. Is that the Indiana Jones that you're talking about? Is that from the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I've got that one up. Yeah.
We'll remove this. Sorry, go ahead.
How soon do you get samples from like Mattel or anybody else where you do images like this?
Yeah, for that, I think I got that. It was the Jurassic Triceratops and like Velociraptor. I think they're out now. The Velociraptor Pursuit Pack or something. And there was like a trilogy, like a 3 Velociraptor pack. Those are like 2 separate projects. But I think I've got them maybe 4 or 5 months early. And then, of course, they're under embargo, so I can't say anything, obviously.
Right.
And then we kind of I prepared the content, and then show them. And there was some back and forth as far as having to put together a script, and then do the shots, and then record the video, me like kind of presenting it, and then I would have to get that back, get notes, and then typically wait like maybe another couple weeks or a month before it actually goes live. And there's also coordination with Target's going to be announcing it, but then it's also going to go on the YouTube channel, and I have to have like my write-up done on my Instagram or social accounts, and so there's like a lot of moving parts. But yeah, typically I generally would get those early enough so I could have them in hand and figure out what I'm going to do with them. But
now, are those considered like EP1, whatever the term is? But do you have to be like kid gloves with them sometimes because you're like, oh shit, I broke it?
There's only been, let's see, typically like the dinosaur stuff for Jurassic World, those were already like the toys themselves were already manufactured, and they're the final. But what's cool is some of the ones they give me. Actually, let me show you. And not many people have seen this, but this is worth getting out, especially if you like Jurassic. So give me 1 second.
I guess this is a good time to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. For members, we're doing a giveaway on the after show. Make sure to tune in for that. For members only.
Okay, so here's, for instance, I would start with, and I already took the figures out, but they would send the box over, and you'll notice like right here, this little sticker basically just indicates that this is not final, and stuff on the back is for placement. And so these boxes are not the final box art. So they would test them out, and while I'm doing it, these are not what are going to go to like the stores. And if you keep in mind, I posted these. One was in April, one was in October, and it was probably 2 or 3 months. It was for a pre-order. So when they launched it, it was available for pre-order, and then it was a few months until you actually could get it. So the packaging wasn't complete, but this is what's really cool, right? So because they were trying to get me the product as fast as possible, and I've only got this box, and it needs to be clean when I'm taking photos of. So sometimes they'll send multiple versions. And so they sent me this one, which fortunately I didn't have to open. But this is a mock-up.
Oh, yeah. I like the Easter basket.
Exactly. So what it's been basically done here is that the vendor who's actually doing the box, like kind of the finishing, they sent this to Mattel. It was like, okay, this is what we envision how it would work. They didn't have the box art finalized at the time, so they were just using random cardboard they had left over. And so it's like, this is such a really, it's so ugly, but the fact, like, it's part of the process, and this is like literally a one of a kind. You know, it's like it's really unique and interesting. So I don't have it displayed or anything. It's cool to have. So
that's a cool set too. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, but the three different Velociraptors from the first 3 films.
Yeah. Yep. It's so funny too. That's kind of a long story, but like that in particular, there were some things where I'm like, okay, we're saying clever girl in like one portion, but technically these are males. And I'm like, we should probably change that. And they're like, well, I don't know. Let's run it by, so and so. I'm like, yeah, I just want to make sure, because I was like showing him reference of like, technically this is the male, this is the female. They have different markings.
Right.
I presented all this reference because I didn't want to be wrong and like get yelled at.
Yeah.
Sent it to them and they're like, okay, thanks for sending that along. And they replied back, they're like, nope, we were told these are female, so don't worry about it. I'm like, you're wrong. And then after it went live, people were like making that point, and I was like,
all right, yeah. You should have did the scene when they're on the plane, and then the Velociraptor head was like, Alan.
Yes, I love that. That was cool. I really want that figure.
Now, before we jump to your Instagram, there was a question from Goose again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions from Goose. Goose, thank you for sending those questions. Do you think a great toy? Oh no, sorry.
We got that one already. Yeah,
there was another one. Did I lost my space?
What was that? It was about.
His questions are so good.
They are good
multiple times.
Yeah,
I know.
I think it was before this one, maybe.
I lost it. Sorry.
I got it. Well, wait.
You got it?
Yeah.
You lost it too.
I had it.
Let's see, maybe I can find it.
We had what's next for you that should be on everyone's radar. That's what you had.
Okay. I think there was another one.
Is that what I had?
There was another one. There was another one.
There was another one. Yeah, there was another one.
Because I remember exactly what you're thinking. Oh, where is it?
It was removed from our questions list.
It was.
I didn't.
What did you do, Abby?
It wasn't me.
It was you.
Okay. You always yell at me, Lou. I don't like it.
So
you guys yell at each other.
I know.
It was about your photography. I remember that. It was like
your legacy.
What do you want people to know as your legacy in the photography?
Oh, geez, my legacy.
Legacy. Something like it was on those lines. Yeah.
Oh, if people remember one thing about your work, what do you want it to be?
That's it. That was the one.
That's it.
You found it.
I mean, in a sense, it's kind of like your legacy. Legacy sounds a little bit too like serious something. I would say, again, going back to kind of as I've leaned into being an educator and being a professor, I want people to not feel like we kind of talked about it, but just if it's something you want to do it. Don't feel like if somebody's telling you shouldn't do it, or like you need to grow up, or you got to have the right equipment. I think I want people just to realize, like, if it brings you joy and it's something you want to try, don't let other people tell you not to do it, or don't give yourself excuses not to do it or try it. Ultimately, I would say that because I've found so much joy, and I've found this community here that's been really influential in who I am today. And, I think that's probably, when you boil everything down, it's not necessarily like, oh, I was the guy who started or coined the phrase Digirama, or I started bringing this type of stuff into my work, or I want people to know me for the techniques. I think it goes beyond that, because I don't really care so much about that. I just want people to feel like empowered to like enjoy the hobby and realize that if you don't take that first step, then you might be missing out on a whole lot of opportunity or just enjoyment in general. So that's a great question. I like that.
That is good.
What would you, I mean, you three, how would you respond to that question?
For legacy.
I don't even want to try to answer
Well,
that.
legacy was your word. He said, if people remember one thing about your work, what do you want it to be?
My work? I don't have any work. I mean, like, okay, from a professional standpoint, like,
I don't even think it has to be professional.
Okay.
So true.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just being me, like being a nice guy. That's like, I give away so many freaking toys because I like doing it. It's fun. I love enabling people to new toy lines. The best feeling in the world to me is when I get a message back, hey, I won this from your show, and I love the figure, and you just got me into a new toy line. I love that.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great feeling because, again, I play with so many different toys. It's crazy. And I think there's so much good stuff out there right now. Like, especially today, there's so many great figures and toy lines. And a lot of people don't know because they're hesitant on getting into new toy lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Action Joe Figs nails it right here. You'll never know what you can accomplish, or if you can accomplish something, unless you do take the first step.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And that's everything. It's not just toys. It's everything in life.
And don't be afraid to fail either, right? That's like the biggest thing. Failing is a good thing because you're learning from that. It's lessons learned.
Yeah,
you're going to fail.
Teacher failure is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What's up, Steve?
Steve, what's up, man? Steve is also one of our sponsors. Go check out articulateempire.com.
Nice.
For all your toy needs.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
There was another question from Goose that I did like. Question, Jason, speaking of core memories, what's one feeling from childhood that you miss?
One feeling that I miss. I mean, I do in some sense. I feel like I wish, like I enjoyed getting up and watching cartoons. And that sounds kind of cliche. But there's something about that, like looking forward to something that wasn't on demand. It wasn't like something you could just stream anytime you wanted to, which I think that's great right now. Like that's pretty cool. But that excitement about, okay, what's the next episode going to be? And just the excitement around like the marketing, in a sense, of like toys at the time. And I feel like that's just not something that's really going to come back. And like my kids didn't. Maybe there were some toys at the time that they really were tied to, like rescue bots, like the Transformers.
The rescue bot. Yep, my son was a fan of those. Yeah,
that was I didn't particularly like the show, but the toys are fun, and just like the connection there. Like I miss that, and I miss just going to the stores as a kid and trying to find figures. And a lot of times it's really just like, oh, that figure looks cool, I want this figure. Or I love turtles, so all the new ones, like looking forward to finding when you saw on the back of the card, like that was the first time you realized what was going to come out. There's none of these releases or pre-orders or all that. You just like stumbled upon it, and that hunt was really fun. So I would say that was exciting. And then kind of with my brother and like just playing, and like if it's like Christmas or birthday, and we would get gifts and being able to share that experience. And like he loves toys like me, and like I said, he finds stuff that I can't find sometimes, and we'll buy toys for each other for our birthdays. And so I would say just that tie, if we're specifically talking more like toys and nostalgia, like I do miss that, like at the time in life. I was like, that excitement was really cool. Hunting. So
and that anticipation and seeing that new commercial that for the new releases. And one of the things to add to what you're saying, when you see a new figure in the store, you'd always you take it off the rack because it is the new figure for the new year or whatever, right? Take it off the rack, look at the back, what else is coming?
Exactly.
Right. Look down that list and see all the other pictures.
Yeah.
What do we have to anticipate?
100%.
Like Return of the Jedi was the first time that they had blacked out pictures. They blacked out the Ewoks on the back because they did not want the Ewoks to be shown until spoiled basically. So that was unique. So we were kind of, you're sitting looking at the back of this thing. What is a Chief Chirpa? And he was never named in the movie either. So I remember leaving the theater and I still didn't know what Chief Chirpa was.
Yeah.
What's it going to look like?
That's cool. Yeah. I agree. That's funny. Yeah. Stuff.
There's one more question I want to highlight just because Shogun is a friend of the channel.
Yeah.
I got a question that's important. Chun-Li or Cammy thickness?
I'm looking at both of them here. Let's see.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought Chun-Li. I enjoyed Chun-Li. I probably definitely would play more as Chun-Li.
You made the right choice for sure.
Yeah. I don't mind the modesty too. Like that's not bad. This is like just literally like in your face and trying to make a statement.
100%.
But no, I think Chun-Li.
There you go, Shogun. It's Chun-Li, the winner always.
And I didn't just say that for you, Avi. That's how I truly feel.
So Shogun, I like your right answer.
Nice.
We do have your Instagram up too. So Lou, do you want to share that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can bring it up.
I was going to say, if there's other questions you want to... Oh, there. Yep. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. This is where I built the diorama for... And this is actually a project, like a paid project for Hasbro to release photos of like this line, which I felt really, really excited about doing. Go through the carousel. I think, I've also got a version where... so there's all the foam that I carved. It's so much work, dude.
Yeah,
that is a lot of work, my friend.
It is a lot. But it's like I needed to create this scene and I needed to have as many pieces. But I'm still trying. You can kind of see where it's not complete. You've got the wall that's right behind Indy, where it's just, since I'm bringing the camera, swinging over to the left, I don't have to finish the wall that's in the far back. So I'm trying to be just intentional about like the amount of effort I put into it. Like, what is the camera going to see?
Yeah.
And then I actually did the Pepper's Ghost technique where I took the, I use a program called Adobe After Effects for doing a lot of my 2D animation. And so you can kind of see on my laptop, there's like this kind of ghostly kind of things that I'm actually, I animated those. And I think one of my other posts, it's like maybe next to this one, if you back out, there's a video that shows this. I think it's the story to the left.
Right there, Pepper's Ghost.
So this gives you a better sense versus me explaining. But I animated it in After Effects, and then I figured out the placement of where all those things needed to be. And if you look at the camera, you can kind of see it looks like those ghosts are actually like flying around the scene. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, but that's just, again, that's something I started. There's a version where I did it with the Ninja Turtles, like Pepper's Ghost. And I've reflected like the turtles, almost like the lost the Lost Years with the recent series. Yeah. And so all the turtles are dead and splintered. So I used those and made those ghosts. But then I thought, okay, I'm an animator. What if I use the same Pepper's Ghost technique and actually did animation with this? And I delivered just a still image. But when you see it here, like this is all in camera. And again, for me, I know what to expect, but it still blows my mind when you see what the camera sees, because that looks like the way I built it, it feels like it's actually integrated into the actual physical scene there. And until you actually see the behind the scenes, it's like, oh, okay, they just put this animation over the top of everything. But no, it's actually all in camera, which is exciting.
Yeah, well, that just completely brings it to life. That's the amazing thing with that. Just there
you go.
Unbelievable. Yep.
So that's the physical or the digital animation there. But you can kind of see where I intentionally kind of blurred out where I wanted the arc to be. So I'm thinking about that as almost like a mat or a mask, and then just intentionally starting all those coming out and yeah, I think I even blocked out some, like, so it looks like it's going behind the character at one point. So yeah. So again, bringing in my experience as an animator and just seeing how that all works. But yeah, this is the stuff I just love doing, and I can spend hours and days playing around when I can see like the vision of what this could be. It's just really, really exciting to see how that works and comes to life.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It is
tons and tons of stuff.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there's that final shot. So.
That's the final shot.
Yep.
That is amazing. That's great work.
Well, thank you very much. More or less.
So do you have you ever, this is something I do, so I ask, and I've been doing this for like photography thing for about a year, so I am very much a novice.
Keep your eyes closed, man.
Yes.
Shut your eyes.
Do you or have you ever? I know I'll find myself if I set up a dio scene of some kind, try to economically use it for various different things
100%.
Before I tear it back down. Right.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff in the bank, so to speak, of shots.
Yes.
Okay.
I do actually. Let's see. I've got a shot that it'll be the next thing that gets released, and I actually did it for my friend Tony. He actually just created a soft vinyl figure, which I think I've got it somewhere. I'm gonna just swing this around and show you how the everything looks. It's a disaster over here, but this will kind of give you an idea.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see this little guy. Can you see him? Yeah. So I kind of took all these little buildings and like set them up so I could get the shot, and the angle is going to be basically like this. So the final shot are kind of on its side.
Okay.
But this whole setup, before I take it down, I'm kind of thinking about, okay, well, what can I actually do while that's up? What can I do to maximize the amount of setup that I did for it? So yes, I'm always in the back of my head trying to figure out how can I maximize my time that I've invested in setting up shots, or being able to like take, like you mentioned, I think, set up a scene and then take it from different angles, maybe move the lights around a little bit. So yeah, that's just efficient, right? You're spending a lot of time doing it. Just get as much as you can out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, I hate tearing stuff down too, so I'll leave stuff up, and sometimes I'll even if I've got one shot in mind, I leave it all up, and then the same as you are doing right now, and come back to it in a day or two and be like, okay, what else can I do with it? Yeah.
If you had some Pacific Rim figures, you could probably put them in that little city.
Yeah, Godzilla,
Kong,
Ant-Man, right?
Ant-Man,
dinosaurs, like Kong, like you said.
Yeah.
So, the Sentinel.
What was that old video game with all the big
Rampage?
Rampage.
Oh yeah. Somebody made those figures, didn't they?
They did.
They did.
I can't remember who it was.
Someone
I want to see
make
NECA.
Boss fight.
Was it boss fight?
Yeah.
Avi, I'm surprised you went the video game and not the Rock movie.
Right.
No, that movie was just that was a movie.
Because you're younger.
It was, but still, like I played the game when I was a kid, so that's nostalgic for me.
It is.
Now I guess we are at 2.5 hours, so we are going to try to wrap it up as we have a members only after this. Let's talk about customizing figures too. Do you customize your figures?
Yeah. How far to? Yeah, I do. I'll show you this. So I bought the '89 Batman from Hot Toys. I'll show you.
You customize the Hot Toys? Damn.
I made a head for the Hot Toys, but so this figure, right? A lot of people are familiar with it. But I was trying to, again, I'm very curious. I like to create things. I've got a 3D printer that I bought beginning of last year in January. And I got it because I'm like, okay, these resin printers are so high quality. I've done some printing prior, but I wanted something that was a little bit larger. And I thought I wanted to give myself a few different projects to play around with, because I also wanted to learn, kind of get back into 3D sculpting, because I did a lot of 3D in a program called Cinema 4D, which is more like motion graphics centric, but I haven't done any like soft sculpting or like sculpting anything other than like hard, rigid like forms.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a program called Nomad Sculpt that's on the iPad, and one of my buddies, Eric Lee, he's like a wizard. He was showing me how to do that. He's got tutorials on his YouTube channel, but he was showing me how you could sculpt, and using the iPad, it's so easy. You just take the pencil and you can rotate around. And I wanted to give myself a couple of challenges where I'm going to sculpt something on my own. And so I ended up, don't have it here downstairs, but are you familiar with Wallace and Gromit, the show?
Oh yeah.
Animated like Aardman stop motion.
Yep.
I did a little Feathers McGraw, and that's also on my work more or less page. But it's a kind of basically the shape of a bowling pin. It's a penguin, and he's got a little rubber red like glove that makes him, he's like trying to disguise himself as a chicken because he's a thief. So that was really simple to sculpt from the beginning. And yeah, sorry, I don't have that up here. I wish I could show you, but that was one project. But then with this one, I found a head sculpt on, I think it was eBay, of this little Michael Keaton character. And the quality, I can't, there we go. So I bought this and ended up painting it, and I actually customized this body. So this is like a Quicksilver Marvel Legends figure that I dyed black, and then made this Batman a custom based on.
You painted that head too?
Yeah.
It's a good paint job.
Thanks. Based on this. So some of you may have had this quick change like Batman.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yep.
So I wanted to make my own like Marvel Legend version.
That's
I know I'm kind of extra. I like to do a lot of these really difficult, challenging, time-consuming things. But sorry, I'm making this story longer than it needs to be. So I found this head, I painted it, and I was really impressed. And I was trying to figure out, okay, it would be awesome to have that, but be able to find the file, print it myself at the 1/6 scale. So long story short, I did find that head. That was, one of these sculptors actually made it free on his website. And so I downloaded that, but then I ended up sculpting the neck to go. So it's like one single piece because I had to cut it off like a statue or something. And then I ended up working on trying to make a joint or a socket that fit this exactly. And it actually does, just pops right in. And then I've got the key.
Wow.
Oh, and then after that, I also made like a cowl that's like ripped and torn that actually goes on this, but I don't know where that is. So yeah, I like doing it. But when I was able to find this model, and then again teaching myself how to like paint, see the results.
That paint job is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
I appreciate that. It's awful. It won't. Anyway. So yeah. And I haven't really shared any of like some of this stuff. I'll do it, but maybe I'll take behind the scenes like video or B-roll of it. But like it's so much work to like go through and document and post all of it. So some of the customs I do, I don't necessarily share, but I've done that. I've done the again finding some random. I like even just like buying soft goods to go on some of the characters. So this was
right.
Another eBay purchase, or made this version of Gambit from the
was that the 97 Gambit?
Yeah. And so I made this custom where it's basically a jigsaw from Marvel Legends. And then I like sculpted the bow tie. This is another head that I bought online somewhere, and then painted that. And then used like Lando from the Solo movie, his little scarf, and painted.
Oh, that's right. I'm just trying to figure out what that scarf came from.
Yep. So I'll do customs from time to time. It's fun.
That's awesome. I mean, you definitely have the talent for it. That I still can't get over the paint job you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on this kind of.
That's what Marvel is that Marvel Legends skill, or is that McFarlane?
It's Marvel Legends.
That's Marvel Legends. Wow.
Yeah. But there's a lot of extra steps that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think I put a clear coat on it, and I realized I used enamel paint unintentionally. And so stuff's like peeling off and not sticking to it. So I'm like, okay, am I going to start over? What am I going to do? So I haven't touched that one in a while, but yeah, I'll do a variety of different. Oh, and one other. So talking about turtles, I took the original Usagi character that was released. I don't know if you guys like turtles or not, but I ended up breaking this figure apart and then repainting it for kind of like the Stan Sakai look. So,
wow.
Yeah, repainted the face, repainted everything else. So, yeah,
that looks great.
Thanks. I like customs; they're fun,
Very
but
nice.
they are time consuming. That's for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a little paint skill for that, especially if you're going to start working on a Hot Toys to customize.
Yeah, it took me a while to actually spend the time. Like, okay, painting 1/6 head sculpt to make it look realistic. I had to get in the right mindset because I'm like, this is going to be really challenging. So it took me several attempts, but pretty happy with how it turned out. It's all about like really thin layers and building that up to get that realism.
I do have one last question for you. When it comes to photography and just getting contacts with like Mattel, Hasbro, some of the bigger toy companies, how was that like for you in your journey? I guess I should say.
I think I was there at the right time in the sense that I was doing the photography already and was getting some exposure, like for instance through like Star Wars: The Black Series, other accounts that would like share a lot of our work. But myself and like Switpix, Spencer, and Nose Rain, Richie, Black Series, Zay, Plastic Action, Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter, Iva Watu. There's so many people who we were all there kind of beginning. So many that I could name that just keep coming to mind. But I think what was really cool is that we were there when Steve Evans and some of the other companies, they realized like, oh, there's a little niche of nerds who like our figures and they're taking pictures, which are amazing. And then from there, they kind of just would start reaching out and like, hey, would you guys want us to send you some figures and you can, shoot them? And that was just like, here's free figures. You do whatever you want with them. And then it kind of got into the point where they're asking for more. And then they would say, well, we've got a budget and we can do that. So some of it's just organic. I've never like cold called any kind of company or sent an email and just said, hey, I'm a toy photographer. Can I do stuff for you? Typically that doesn't work. You kind of have to find a way to, I hate to say like get noticed. But
I'm sure being noticed would be the biggest thing when there's a name attached to it.
Yeah. But I think too, in toys and even what I do creatively, a lot of it is about making that connection and it not be about, I want to shoot your stuff. Send me stuff. It's, hey, maybe you're able to meet somebody in person at a con. You're like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm all in. I love what you're doing. And specifically telling the person, like, why? Not just this figure is awesome. It's so cool. I like taking pictures. But if you start this from a point of view of, like, how do you build a relationship? Well, a lot of times just, like, getting to know the person, telling them about yourself. And as soon as you start kind of building that kind of foundation of familiarity and sometimes trust, that's when you're able to be, in a sense, in someone's mind, like set apart from just everybody else who's doing the same thing. It's like, no, you've been proactive. You've been really easy to just talk to from like a human to human point of view. I don't feel like you're trying to get something from me. And so a lot of it's really about cultivating those relationships first and then seeing what that opportunity can bring you. My connections with NECA started with Chris Ramo, who does the package illustration design work there. He's been there for years. And during COVID, I think I'd known him. We've been talking through Instagram, and I just said, hey, I've been doing kind of these online Instagram lives, and would you want to just come on and just chat with me? Because I love what you're doing there at NECA. And before I even had any inkling that I would be able to work with them. And he said, sure. So we had like conversation and we kind of kept in touch. and Blaine Rodenbaugh, who's also there at NECA. He was just another toy photographer who I met early on, and now he's one of the design directors there. And so when there was an opening to be able to work with them, they knew me as Jason. They knew me as, oh, he does toy photography, obviously. He's got a community of people that we kind of are all involved with. Mm-hmm. But I know he's got a creative practice where he does illustration. We need an illustrator. Hey, Jason, we already know you. We trust you. Do you want a chance to do some illustration? And you love turtles. We know you like turtles. Like, yeah, sure. So a lot of it just starts with a relationship versus, all right, what do I need to do to show them that I'm and again, that is a good example with toys and like where we are in this space, but that's such just a general life.
Oh, 100%.
Approach to life in relationship, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's true. I mean, the first step is always to make a relationship, right? That's how it works.
Yep.
That's in every aspect of life.
100%.
100% agree. Talib, Lou, do you guys have any more questions?
I was going to ask, is there any toy line that you got to work on or would hope to work on? Or no. Is there any toy line you'd hope to work on that you would scream like a schoolgirl?
Oh, scream like a
dream toy line.
I mean, I'm trying to think what toy lines have not been already done. I would say I don't know who would do this. I feel like NECA would do a great job. But you all familiar with Wes Anderson as a director?
Yes.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is probably one of my favorite movies of his because it's stop motion. And Fantastic Mr. Fox, the Roald Dahl like short stories. Mm-hmm. That would be really fun because nobody's other than, I should say, McFarlane. No. Who was it? It wasn't. Maybe it was McFarlane. Anyway, there were some figures that existed, but it would be cool to actually do those types of figures, like Wes Anderson themed figures, or even if I could do Iron Giant, like with Super 7, and not just Iron Giant, because they've got those, like the Mondo one, but if we could focus on like actual characters there, and if I could be part of like the design process and thinking about like the line and what characters, what accessories, I would say those two would be a lot of fun. So, yeah, probably Wes Anderson, just because that's not been done yet. And there's so many really interesting characters like Bill Murray, he's in tons of their films.
Oh yeah.
Life Aquatic. Isle of Dogs is also another stop motion one that's fairly recent. Rushmore. Yeah, that would be really interesting. So I feel like NECA would do a great job with that, but
yeah, that sounds like it would fall into NECA's wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
They would crush it. They would crush it.
Yeah.
I know a couple people there. Maybe I can see about Jason.
The little nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
No.
I think we're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I was going to say, this is the type of stuff I could talk about this all day. Thanks for letting me, stay on as late as we've been going.
We appreciate you being on again, man. This is a lot of fun.
But for you three, if you have other questions, like follow up. Like I love to share my process. You can kind of see through my website and stuff we looked at. I enjoy having the conversations because I'd learn from you all too. Like it's a two-way conversation, and there's a lot of things that I may be doing something a certain way where I might learn from others. So to me, I feel like I'm just contributing as well. But for everybody watching, if you want to just reach out to me, like anybody who sends me a message, for the most part, unless you're spam, don't send me. If you're a bot or something, don't send me a message. But truly, if you want to just talk or you want to ask me questions, I'd love to have conversations there. So don't hesitate. And I would say for anybody that you might have questions for in the community in particular, I find that everybody's really engaging for the most part and is willing to talk, regardless of how many followers they have or whatever.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
That's what's really cool about our community. I feel like we're unique in that respect. So, just encouragement for everybody. Like, reach out, say hey.
I agree.
I will take you up on that, and I appreciate that offer.
Please do.
I was going to say, you might have opened up Pandora's box with Goose.
I welcome it. Because your questions are very thoughtful. So I can tell with how you're asking those questions, you've been thinking about those. And like I said, I think you knew how I was going to respond even before I answered.
Goose actually had a lot of questions, and I wasn't able to get to all of them, unfortunately. But we will definitely take you up on the offer to come back.
Yes,
yeah, I'd love to.
For sure. That'd be a lot of fun.
Do you have any shout outs you want to do?
No, I mean, I would say the biggest thing for just people here, I mean, I actually am excited. Since I was able to do that WonderCon panel last weekend and talk about toys, that's cool. But I'm starting to see like there's new opportunities. Like I spoke at University of Arkansas, the School of Design, talked about my process and actually leading into toy photography. I'm going to be speaking at I was speaking at University of Tulsa where I work, but the Art Directors Club of Tulsa here in town, they asked me to be a keynote speaker April 16th, and so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm almost seeing like it'd be cool to have like a shift to even where I'm able to present and go to different cons or do panels, or again, I just love to share. So I'm kind of hoping that works out. But yeah, as far as like shout outs, I mean, check out my website if you want to learn more, if you want to see some of those tutorials and deep dives. And then with Invisible Element, that's my work type stuff. And so both of those Instagram accounts, if you'd like to just keep in touch. But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Hell yeah. Okay. Talib, I'm going to put you in next. Lou, look at your phone.
Ooh, secrets. Well, you can follow me all over the intrawebs at Talib1980_collects. I am on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, Twitch account. But on all the other ones, I post reels, shorts, whatever they're called on TikTok. I have toy news daily, pretty much images I see everywhere. I throw them up and hopefully enable you guys. And then all those images will get compiled into slideshows, and we do like a live pre-record Tuesdays at 1 a.m. It drops the news and review that's done weekly. Then Thursday nights on my channel, we have been building blockies, live stream at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday nights, we do a show called Men on Films, where we talk movies. Abby and Lou are a pair of the co-hosts.
Awesome.
And then Stu for lunch and Smudge Customs. This week is the final week of the follow-up to the NCAA tournament, where we're doing horror, suspense, thrillers, 64 movie tournaments, and with special guest Toy Games. So check that out tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then also I'm part of Figure Fight Club. Every Monday is the Transformers Focus show called Decepticast. That's at 10:15 p.m. where me and Anna talk Transformers news, topics, and we are in the middle of reading the Energon universe. Tuesday night's open mic night, and then Wednesday nights I'm on 3POA. I do the mid Transformers report, so talking Transformers there. That's it. That starts at 9 p.m., but I usually don't hop on until around 10, so head over to 3POA for that. And then Friday nights, you're watching what we do on Friday nights. So
it just keeps
I almost stream every night. Only night I don't stream is Sunday. That's
6 days a week.
Nights.
He's literally the biggest whore on YouTube.
And then I do 2 reviews a week too. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Lou, would you like to go next?
It's always funny going on after Talib at this point. It's like, hi. This is it. But I'm gaining on you, Talib. Day by day by day.
And I see you guest starring on other people's shows, you sons of biscuits.
I'm having fun with that for
you
sure.
Get more invites than I do. I don't want to hear about it.
It's been a lot of fun, the invites and jumping on. Last night I got to jump on with our friend True Star Screamer, who we always see on Tuesday nights in the open mic, and his figure action podcast with Junkie on Crafts and Builds and Team Man. So it was a lot of fun last night. It was kind of a last minute ask, invite, and then I was like, oh, absolutely, I love those guys. was a fun time. But you can always find me here Tuesday nights on Figure Fight Club. You guys all know I'm here. And what's that? What did Hendo say?
Oh, working all the corners on YouTube. It's not just YouTube, buddy.
Twitter and Twitch and Facebook and
TikTok.
MySpace. I don't know.
Doing those dances on TikTok.
Absolutely.
You guys are busy.
Yeah. And as Talib said, I'm here every Friday with all you guys here. The members streams, Saturday nights on Talib's channel doing the Men on Film. But tonight I get to do a little something extra. Finally get to spit it out. And I'm excited about it because we've talked about it, and it's been hinted upon, asked about, thought about for a long time, and I'm excited to finally show you guys. So debuting next Thursday,
April 9th
at 9 p.m., we are debuting our new show with my co-host will be our Goose. And the show's called Taking the Shot. It's going to be photography focused, toy photography focused specifically. I can't promise you it's going to be a tutorial type situation. I don't know that I can give you a tutorial, not yet, but we have guests that will be there that we can certainly touch on some of that, but just overall discussions. And it's kind of something, it's new. It's new to me as it's going to be new to everybody else. So we're going to flesh it out as we go and see and have some fun with it. So
in other words, Jason, we would love for you to come back on a Thursday night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah.
That would be absolutely.
Yeah.
And so there we go. I'm excited. I hope to see all you guys on Thursday for this, and cut me some slack on the first show because I don't know.
We'll work through all the problems. Trust me,
where
you got this.
Absolutely.
So if you guys don't love Figure Fight Club enough, you have Lou, his show, and then my show comes on afterwards. So I mean, you just get more and more of us.
Yeah.
The idea behind that Thursday at 9 p.m. was so we can go right before Talib goes live at 10:30, and that way we'll lead into his show, and then we'll cut it off.
Nice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But again, new show starting this Thursday or next Thursday, I should say, or next week.
This coming Thursday, April
9th. It's going to be every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be, two co-hosts or hosts. Lou and Goose will be there, and it'll be all photography focused. There will be the guests. There'll be VIPs or guests, whatever you want to call them. But it's a photography show. So if you're photographers and you want to do toy shots, we have a Facebook group as well, Figure Fight Club community. Throw some shots up there. Maybe it'll be shown on the live. So cool. Let's have fun with it. I mean, it's all about having fun, right? That's at the end of the day. Yeah. This is what's about. Having fun. Mm-hmm. So have fun with your toys, take photos. Shit, even I might take a photo this weekend just so I could try to get up there. Hopefully
I won't be using your photos.
I
Please
know.
Take a photo, yes.
I know.
I mean, I want to see some photos that you took recently, so just have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll see the stickers later. Calm down.
It's a different type of figure.
We will need to see those as well for sure.
It's a real figure.
Right. The whole thing with this is it's gonna be exciting. Like I said, this is gonna be a loose, informal conversations, discussions, ideas. Let's just have some fun and talk about it, and see what bounce all of it off the wall to see what sticks, and you never know what can happen on this show.
Do you want to announce the first guest?
I would love to announce the first guest. The first guest is someone who was truly, actually, for me, the first person who inspired me to consider actually taking photos. And that's not taking away anything from Jason here. I followed you for years before I even considered taking a photo. So that's promise you it's not taking anything away at all. Is my respect for your work. But this one was someone I started watching a number of years ago on YouTube. kind of when I started watching these YouTube shows, and it popped up as a suggestion. I watched a couple of his videos and was just absolutely blown away by a lot of the things that he does. So it's only fitting and quite the honor that we get to have as our first guest the one, the only, the amazing.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Very excited for that.
Heavy hitter, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
G is a good dude, friend of the channel as well. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
Yep. There's just always been something about, his action figure posing, his photography, and all the posts, all the pictures, the montage that he does at the end of all of his videos. That's kind of what inspired me to get started.
Yeah.
And give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to do that.
But don't let Jason down though, because he releases tutorials. I'm gonna go through one of his tutorials to see if I can do it. I really will.
Yeah.
I want
like
to
I
check
said,
this out. This will be fun.
Yeah. That's my Saturday. That's what I'm going to be doing, is going through all of that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Hopefully some good stuff for you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know there is. Thank you.
Well, congrats. That's exciting. New show.
Yeah. Another new show. It's all part of the Figure Fight Club network. Okay, Luke, can I bring that down now?
You can bring that down now. We can bring that down. Sorry.
Thank you. But let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
All right, but he's very excited, as you can see.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? I didn't know we were wearing the same shirt again.
We are wearing the same shirt.
Shout out to Mike with Diabolic Customs.
Definitely shout out to Mike. We both got this shirt at Toyland.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah. But again, make sure to tune in. Of course, Monday, Decepticast. Tuesday, Figure Fight or Open Mic Night for Figure Fight Club, of course. And then now Thursdays, Taking the Shot. And Friday, we have our Plastic Journey. So next week, our guests or VIP for Plastic Journey will be...
We collect the Mezcos and Marvel Legends and even the third parties. We shop the Legos and McFarlane's and we even check out the Barbies. We hunt through Walmart and at Target and anywhere with toys. We help each other out because we do it for the boys. Welcome to the Plastic Journey Podcast.
We will be having Toy Father as our VIP. He is the third member, or whatever number he was, but there was 3 guys of Toy Daddy's podcast group. No Chewy, and then we had Gimbo, and then he was the only one we were missing, Toy Father, so we're going to have him on as well next week. Definitely tune in for that. Awesome. Again, Jason, thank you very much for being on. This was a lot of fun, and
man, likewise.
Definitely have you back on a Thursday if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please.
It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you to the chat. You guys are awesome. The replay squad, thank you as well. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Lou, Talib. And thank you to our sponsors, Sis3D Arsenal, Collecticon Toys, and our new sponsor, Articulated Empire. Starting next week, we will start doing the giveaways that he had donated. So that'll be a lot of fun. But for members only...
Hang on, before members only, one last sponsor. Well, not sponsor, but don't forget we have GI Customs for the month of April. We've got a code with GI Customs FFC 10.
That's a good point. Yep.
10%. I believe it's 10% off an order of $100 or more.
So 10% off order of 100 or more, and it's on his website. So definitely go check out gicustoms.com. I guess. We'll see you on members only. Again, we're doing a giveaway on members only. Members, you guys get all the perks. So we'll see you in like 15, 20 minutes.
Stu gets most of the perks. He wins all the dang time.
Stu does win a lot. That's a good point. Very good point on that. Again, Jason, thank you very much for jumping on. We'll definitely have you back for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to be. So
have a good night. If we don't see you on members only, peace out. Be good, do good, and take some photos.
That's right.
Peace.
See you guys.
As we wrap up tonight's fun, the figures and talk, so we've just begun. Join us next time for thrills anew. In the world of Figure Fight Club, it's all for you. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. See you next week on Figure Fight Club, stay strutting. This isn't goodbye, it's just to see you later. In the meantime, go check out another creator. So keep your figures on display until we gather here someday. Remember the tales and the laughs we shared. Here at Figure Fight Club, you're treasured and cared.